Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. You'll sense a slightly more upbeat tone to my voice and demeanour because it does look as though the proposed Super League is dead. We saw protests from Leeds fans and Liverpool fans last night. We saw protests this evening from Chelsea fans. We saw Petr Cech assuring them that it was being sorted. We've seen all kinds of stuff. It's minute by minute updates. We're going to keep you guys updated as things are unfolding because the landscape is changing by the second at the moment. I'm Paul Machin. Chris Pajak joins me in the studio here. We've got Ben Kelly behind who's just come back from a 2-day working shoot in another part of the country. It was working flat out for us right now in full on hero mode. So if we have any technical hiccups, then please do forgive us. I've just timed out someone for complaining that we're always late on top of streams. Be nice. We're under intense pressure. Right.
It feels so much better than it did last night.
Yeah, it does. I feel like it feels like a dam's been broken, or at least it's cracked. We've seen Chelsea, the news are reporting that the Chelsea have pulled out.
Sorry,
Man City according to Sky Sports.
Breaking news: Jordan Henderson has literally 20 seconds ago just tweeted this, Paul. I don't like it, and I don't want it to happen. This is our collective position. Our commitment to this football club and its supporters is absolute and unconditional. You'll never walk alone.
Quality, right? Let me just get that up so everyone can have a little read of that.
I don't know whether we've got that ability. Have you got that ability, Ben?
Don't worry about it. That's why I said let me get it up on social media. Right, yeah, there you go. You can see those are the words from Jordan Henderson.
My captain.
My captain, indeed. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. In fact, I'll just update you for those who don't quite know exactly where we're up to. But yeah, as I mentioned, Man City are looking to leave it as soon as possible. You've got breaking news from Sky Sports saying Man City have told organised they don't want to be part of it. Apparently, all the founder clubs are in a meeting right now.
Ed Woodward has stepped down as Manchester United executive vice chairman.
Ed Woodward has fallen on his sword over this one. I want to talk about that as a separate issue in a moment because I think there's more to than that. But yeah, we've had some really interesting tweets in the last hour or so. 2 hours ago, we had Robbie Fowler, Liverpool legend. God himself has spoken, saying the game we all love is in danger unless we protect its values of competition and fair play. I stand with Jurgen and our team, and I stand with all football fans. Sir Kenny Dalglish saying the last few days, can we get this, Ben? The last few days have been difficult for everyone who loves Liverpool Football Club, and I really hope we do the right thing. We'll get this. I'll get Trent up now, Chris, if you just want to fill while I...
tell you what, mate, I know this is a momentous occasion right now, and it's a momentous time for us as football fans, but for me, I just want to say right now, we are not halfway through this battle. I mean, for a start, we need the owners out of this football club because they do not understand us. That's my position. I don't know where you sit on it, Paul. Yep. But I do not want FSG in charge of Liverpool anymore. I want to see FSG sell up, leave town, but most importantly, I want to see fans back in charge of their football clubs. And I truly believe that now is the time to strike while the iron is hot, and the 50+1 rule must be introduced into English football. That, for me, is where we take this next, because UEFA and FIFA will think they've won right now, and UEFA and FIFA are as much a part of the problem as these billionaires who own our football clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got it here now, as mentioned there, Trent Alexander-Arnold tweeting exactly the same thing as Jordan Henderson. Great to see the Liverpool players taking a stand, under immense pressure. We did a lot of chats about this today. We had the lads we had Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, we had Rory Jennings, we had Flav from the Fighting Cock, we had Steve McInerney from Esteemed Company, we had Mark Goldbridge. I'm probably missing someone, but we had us.
Robbie? Did you say Robbie?
But if not, I don't know. Surely I did, but never remember, man. Whatever. We had a lot. We had. Everyone together, and everyone was unified in this. But we talked about the pressures that these guys, that are under, and we've had loads of chats ourselves about this. About how do you go against your employers, and it shows you what a catastrophic catastrophic misreading of the entire football climate is. I mean, we can talk more specifically about FSG, and we will, but like, it's worth remembering it's not just them. There's 12 other sets of owners who have just got this so badly wrong, and they have dragged the supporters through the mud, and they've dragged players through the mud, and they've put everyone under undue stress for no reason whatsoever. And no, I'm glad that the footballers have spoken out of it. I'm proud that Jordan Henderson stepped up. I'm proud of how quickly Liverpool fans got banners made up and got them to grounds and got up to Leeds, and how quickly all the fan bases have mobilised over this, Chris.
It's unbelievable, mate. And right now, you're getting up Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I believe that Virgil van Dijk and maybe James Milner have tweeted. So this is a message that has been passed around the Liverpool squad. And listen, can you show everyone what Trent Alexander-Arnold actually said above his statement?
Oh no, hang on, let me see this.
Because I think that's important as well, to be honest.
We had it on screen, but I didn't see anything that he put above his statement.
It looked like it said "for the fans, for the city." For me, is what I saw.
I know, actually, that's all we've got there from Trent. So
maybe I'm sure it said "for the fans, for the city."
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Was that on Insta maybe or something? I don't know.
No, he's retweeted it. If you just go to his own Twitter account,
got you.
It.
Yeah, we can get that up in 2 seconds. But yeah, it's yes, it is a. There you go. Yeah, he's croak tweeted his own thing. We can get that up now. Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold saying "for the fans, for the city." I mean, again, you're saying that other Liverpool players are stepping up and doing exactly the same thing, but it's again, we talked about this, about like James Milner got so much credit from last night for talking about it. But we said this, Chris. James Milner's 35 years old. James Milner was never going to probably play for a club that was in the Super League regardless. So he's got far less to lose. He's always going to get a contract somewhere. Even if he goes on for another few years, it needed big voices to stand up and do it. And it's just amazing to see this kind of stuff, this kind of response.
It really is, and I've already seen some funny tweets and stuff like that. I mean, I think it was Chris Williams. They're flying in the tweet at the moment. He says, I think this is the best coordinated attack by Liverpool all season, which is absolutely spot on, isn't it? But Jordan Henderson, I can see James Milner's done it as well. This is going to go on throughout the entire squad. As I say, though, it's important to remember this is half the battle. Right now, the European Super League's gone. Fantastic. It's crumbling around us. There will be just tatters left of this 2-day-old thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember when in 2021 they tried the European Super League and everyone shit themselves for about 46 hours?
It's mad. It's mad. I walked out of this building at 5 o'clock, having done. We did a final word show where instead of talking about the football match on the back. We stayed up until whatever got given hour last night after doing the match. When we didn't really do the match, we were talking about all this. Having done a 2-hour podcast on it during the day, then we did the final word show to this morning, which is normally about the match, but it wasn't. It was about this. Then we did an hour or something with all the different fan channels from the different football clubs. I then went and did like a 45 minutes with Toffee TV on it. We then in between, we've been having like panicked power meetings about what the hell what goes on and how you deal with this. We've gone home, had some tea, and it's all fell apart. And and here we are still here at 9:10 on it, dealing with the aftermath of this.
I'm buzzing with this at the moment. It's the first time I've smiled in 48 hours. Yeah. I've been so hooked into Twitter, and it's mad how much it's meant to me just seeing everybody as a collective fighting for the same things and using the powers that they've got, because we're lucky we've got a platform that we can say what we want. But what I've loved is that every single person with every one of their own platforms has been doing exactly the same, and that says to me, like I've always known, that we're exactly the same. We are a collective, we are stronger together. Yeah. Unity is strength, and that's what this is all about right now. Whether you've got 6 followers or you've got 6 million followers, whether you've got fucking a voice or you can type, it doesn't matter. We're all Liverpool fans, we're all fighting for our football club, and we're all fighting for exactly the same thing. That is the future of football in this country and in Europe.
Yeah, right, we're going to talk a bit more about FSG. Obviously, there's no confirmation of Liverpool taking any action around this at the minute, but obviously you say Liverpool players are standing up and having their voices heard live almost as we speak. We've got a bunch of people's comments and all this, which I want to make sure we don't miss out on. Mike Atlas with the £10 super chat. Can I just say to everyone, by the way, the support that you guys have shown in this period has been absolutely mind-blowing. You know, again, we talked about these power meetings we've been having. You know, we're looking down the line of our livelihood absolutely crumbling around our ears because of the actions of knobhead billionaires. So I'm so pleased, and to echo Chris's statement about how everyone stood together, and that's fans of other football clubs, fans around the world, the players, and you know, you guys and all that kind of stuff. Just brilliant. So anyway, Mike Atlas says, we have been embarrassed. We need to keep pushing so this never happens again. Wouldn't mind a German style of club management, to be honest. Still think all clubs involved in this need punishment of some sort. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what follows on that. Simon Banstead, I've kept my silence so far because of the sad news that my beloved Nana passed away on Sunday afternoon, so this whole thing pales into insignificance. Even with no Super League football, governance is corrupt all over. Obviously, I hope you and your family are okay, mate. Football governance. That's it. Again, we'll come to this because we'll live in the moment on all this for a bit. I think there's going to be time when the dust settles on this, even as early as tonight or maybe tomorrow morning or whatever, we can kind of pick apart a lot of this stuff. But rest assured, you know, this doesn't end tonight. Even if we get a statement from Liverpool saying that they're out, that's not the end of it. This is only the beginning of what comes from this, because we can't let this lie. Kevin Whitaker, thank you so much for the super chat. Same for you and Evans. Ben, thanks so much for all of the typing right into the centre of my brain.
Ben, feel free to mute your phone when you're going to type dead loud.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
And if you disengage caps lock, it never suits.
Yeah. You and Evan saying this shows the power the fans have. As great as this is, we can't stop here. We need to get FSG out of our club. They'll only try again if we don't. Craig Tebb says, rumour has it FSG are looking to sell. And look, I'll get to some more of the super chats and comments in a moment, but they have to, Chris, and not just because
they've got an untenable position.
Well, yeah, exactly, but I think it works from both ends, because they got into football because they want the guarantee of FFP was one of their provisos on them buying into English football, was like, as long as there's going to be financial controls, we'll get involved, because as much as there's talk about unregulated like earnings, the unregulated spendings are what's caused so much of the problem in football. You know the money that Chelsea built in, the money that City built in. Exactly, and they can't continue, and it's not because it's not a money making exercise for FSG Liverpool. It never has. They don't take money out of Liverpool, which is a different point. It's not a defense of them. It's just it's the truth. It's what they do. But if they wanted to make money from it, then you know the only way they're going to make money from it now, because there's no radical change to it that's going to improve their situation as owners. They're going to have to sell up anyway, because I think they've had their time. They've got all the success they're ever going to get out of Liverpool, I think, and that's not even coming on to the conversation that you've had, and I think you're alluding to about how the fuck do we ever trust them again? And the simple answer is I don't think it is possible. But yeah, I think that's right. I think we'll have no choice but to see them move out. But I think it will be a mutual decision. I think, you know, from their perspective, I think they'll look at it now. They'll look at it in addition to all the pressure they're going to get put under, and think this was their Hail Mary. This was their plan to try and do something to put a cap on the likes of Manchester City and the likes of Chelsea and the likes of PSG, and it's failed. It was a shit plan to do it, by the way. Very like fucking scandalously shit plan, as we all know, and we can all see by the response. But yeah, I can't see that. But yeah, again, we will definitely pick up on that, don't worry. Jan Fletcher, not sure how you both feel, but I want FSG gone. Don't know anyone can trust them now after this. Exactly, mate. Absolutely. Alejandro Delgado, how will Liverpool compete financially with the PSG and City of the world if they don't have billionaire owners or compete in Europe every year? They
can't. Not with the ownership that we've got right now. Even if they had good intentions, they can't compete with them in unregulated spending. As you say, an FFP doesn't matter an absolute jot. It's not worth the paper that it's written on, if it's even written down anywhere, because they kind of just make it up as they go along. So I'm not sure it is written down, to be honest with you. But, you know, that's right now, FSG's silence still is speaking 1,000 words to me. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that they've stayed quiet. And let's roll it back a bit before we talk too much about what the future is and stuff, Paul, because I think we had a really interesting conversation just before we left here before, and it was like, we kind of felt like because they were being so quiet and all the Super League clubs were being so quiet, that they had this grand master plan. They fucking never.
Yeah.
They had nothing. You know what they didn't do? They did not expect this much of a backlash. And they thought, and here's the funny thing, they thought it might die down. It probably fucking would have, right? But you've got to hold your nerve for more than 2 days, lads, you dickheads.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. John Barnes was on Sky News before, and he was saying, I think this is it. I think, at best... because obviously the news came out that looks like UEFA are refinancing the Champions League, which is going to mean loads more money. And look, my strong suspicion on this is that they've probably had a behind closed doors conversation, which means they're not going to get what they want, but they will get slightly more. They'll get a bit more power and they'll get more money for the Champions League stuff. And you might see a couple of changes to the Champions League format, because that's the next conversation, by the way, when we get through all of this. Is that let's not pretend that what's on the table with removing Super League is what football actually wants or needs. But it wouldn't shock me if they've gotten a bit more of what it is they're looking for, and we see something announced in the coming days. Because I can't see how this was. I can't see how this was anything other than a massive gambit, because we talked about this before. It wasn't a proper proposal. Didn't have a proper logo. It didn't. We're laughing because where was the trophy? Where was the trophy? Where were all the other clubs who were meant to be in it? Where was the system by which the clubs were coming into it? Where was a detailed breakdown of how what the money actually looked like and what the money was going to be used on? Because when they put those proposals in the summer, they had that
Project Big Picture.
Project Big Picture had the proper proposals. That was a well costed out plan, even though it wasn't what people were looking for. And that's why I can't help but feel they've done everything they can to try and put. It's like trying to selling a house and you put the front up. It's like living on a set. They've put a set up like for a giant scam, like the biggest con going, where they've built this this fake town almost to kind of show, oh no, look what we've built. We're moving out of your town, moving into this town. Look at this, solid, made of brick. Don't touch the walls. Yeah, it's fine. That one's not been finished yet. Hollow walls. Just waiting for the concrete to be poured. I can't help but feel that and we won't. I don't know if we'll know. It was a point that I think Steve made this mention on our WhatsApp group. I think in years to come we'll see an amazing documentary about this. Someone will have been inside this some way, and we'll find the truth out about what it all. This will be like that. What's that documentary about the party that never was? On Netflix, everyone knows.
Yeah.
But
I've not seen it, but I know what you're talking about. Fire something.
Yeah. But that's because it was enough that it looked real, but there's not enough there that says to me that they were ready. That was no way was that ready to go. Like that, they were never ready to run on that. So I think you're right. I think the best have fucking got something out of it.
They have, and they will get something out of it. They'll get about 1.7 billion. Yeah. When they sell.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about FSG. I mean everyone. I mean every owner that's done this. The fucking best have gotten something out of UEFA, or the best have gotten some of the things they were looking for. Because if they haven't, what was the fucking point of this? What was the point of putting us all through this? They should
also get sanctions and fines and fucking all kinds. Throw the book at them. Yeah. Throw the book at them for the goal and for trying to ruin football and competition in Europe, because they deserve everything that they get, to be honest with you. And I'm sitting here and telling you this right now, I will take the Conference League as a fine. They want to throw us in that Conference League. That's worse than no Europe. Throwing us in that fucking conference.
Hey, listen, Chris, but Mark Goldbridge was saying this before on the show with the other guys, that like he'd take relegation to the conference if it meant we got ownership of the club back. And we said this all the way back when Hicks and Gillette, we were looking at like relegation, and we were looking at all this. It's tough. It's very tough, and a lot of people won't agree with this, and I'm not 100% sure I'm totally in on this, but there is a notion that, because we were thinking about this, what the worst case scenario was, like, your football club exists, but you've lost it. I think it looks like we're going to be past that, which is like a massive release from everyone, because there'll be nothing worse than everything about Liverpool continuing, but it's in another country effectively, and it's been removed from you. That would be the worst thing that could possibly happen. But I do look at it and I wonder how many people would take this notion, because this is where we're in now. We need to remember this, that and again, we're talking like Liverpool are out. They're not at the moment, by the way, and hopefully more on that to follow. But if everything we've built, and this is FSG have done this, by the way, because every bit of goodwill they've built, and I would say that literally up until Saturday, I think they've been excellent owners, and it doesn't discount the fact that this has clearly been rumbling on for a year. So you can have this as an undercurrent to your Premier League win, because they were clearly having these conversations while we were lifting the Premier League title. But they've done.
Peter Moore, by the way, sorry, I've just been reminded. Have you seen his tweets?
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I love Peter Moore, but he was definitely in the room in these conversations.
You wonder why he's leaving.
Yeah, it's we're definitely going to speak to him about that at some point. But FSG and what they've done, the way they built Liverpool back up again, and loads of credit goes to Klopp, but you've got to hire Jurgen Klopp, and you've got to give him the tools, and you've got to put the right men around, and you've got to pay the right wages to get the right men around them, and the right players and all that kind of stuff. Like, they've done all this. We're back. All of the seasons kind of takes the shine off it. We've got to remember now, if Liverpool have a slip down for a couple of years, and maybe Jurgen Klopp decides he needs to go and fulfill his ambitions somewhere else, and we have to slip back into the pack for a few years, then we need to remember why it is we love Liverpool, because this is all a very real possibility. We don't come from this brink and go back to last season or the season before. It's not going to happen. We've got a massive fight on our hands potentially ahead of this. We've got a disrest amongst the fan base. We've got splits in the fan base potentially coming. We've got distraction. We've got things that are going to detract from the football on the pitch. Can Liverpool compete? And again, as mentioned by those comments, this is not the end. This is not we're happy that we've managed. The Super League's not going to happen. But I think people need to get in their heads what the reality of this is going to look like. Josh Owen says, Fenway Sports Group more like F-word snaky gits. So glad this is all falling apart. Good word, Josh. Josh says, don't forgive, don't forget. It's time for partial fan ownership in the UK. 50+1 or some alternative. FSG out, fans in. Absolutely. Adam John Berry. If Tottenham hang on, they may get a trophy. Right, Sad. Ludwig Johansson, a battle won, but the war goes on for football. Crow7 says, is the only way to punish the teams for this is to relegate the teams in this to fourth or lower tiers of domestic leagues, removing clubs' power. And again, this is the point about the FSG stuff. And again, we'll have these big conversations in the coming days and weeks. But we're going to have to start having those conversations again about what are we prepared to do to see them go out the club. Like putting trust in the government to take stand. The government needs to take action. The government aren't very good at putting. We've got the least supportive government when it comes to putting the power back in the hands of the people. I can't imagine a world where the Conservatives want to do anything that takes money out of the hands of billionaires and puts it back in the working class man. But we'll have to see. Boy82, I'm an Arsenal fan, but you two have epitomised the fighting spirit of the fans. Thank you. We've done nothing, mate. We've just been sat in a room talking about it. The people who've gone out there and and gone and faced it
Chelsea
up.
Chelsea fans deserve a huge amount of credit.
The Spine Cop lads, the Spirit of Shankly people, the people who've been putting pressure on from all angles. Every one of us, everyone who's put it to us, everyone who's registered that they're discussed has contributed in this in some way. So great.
I've just sent you a little WhatsApp there from one of Liverpool's official partners. I've just withdrawn, which I think you can get up on Twitter. Cool. So that's interesting.
Sweet. I'll come to that in 2 seconds. Eric Obi-Wan Kenobi says, nice one, good work, fellas. Eric Ryan says, I'm so proud of our players for coming out and so happy with the Liverpool fans making our voices heard. Love my club so much. FSG out, you'll never walk alone. Sean Dolan saying, we've won this battle, but the war will rage on. Tyler Gooden, unreal from Hendo, cult hero, build him a statue. Yeah, we'll come to some more of your stuff in a moment. But yeah, interesting, the stuff that I've been sent here from Chris. Yes. We will get, in fact, we can get this up on the screen right now from Tribus, sent a Super League statement as the official global timing partner of Liverpool FC and a family of dedicated lifelong fans based in the city of Liverpool. Tribus watchmakers cannot support the move by the club's owners to break away into a new competition, the Super League. Our values are at the forefront of everything we do, therefore we were drawing from this partnership. Football belongs to the fans and unites us all. It was never intended to benefit the few. Yeah, well said indeed.
And here's the thing though, Liverpool still haven't said anything as of right now, and can we put pressure onto the other sponsors right now? There's one sponsor, but what about Nike? what about everybody else? Where's the pressure from them? And I don't think it will get to that anymore. But they would have been probably the next steps, wouldn't they, of what Liverpool fans would have been asking. Tribus need a lot of credit for being the first sponsor to withdraw.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing. The reputation of Liverpool Football Club's in the toilet. Everything that they've done, and every ounce of goodwill that they have fought and clawed, that Liverpool have clawed, and it's cost them. It's cost them in time and effort and a whole other bunch of things as well. In terms of building that up, engaging with the fans, growing Liverpool, embracing Liverpool's community, the work they do locally. And the thing is worth remembering that Liverpool is many different things. And Jurgen Klopp was kind of pointing this out last night. Is that the lads who play football on the pitch are not FSG. Although they are paid by, they are put in position by those. The people who do the community work for Liverpool are not FSG. The people who work in the club shop are not FSG. Yeah. There's a difference, and this is why it's important. I think the players have stood out tonight, because I made a reference on a show. We've done so many, but talking about how, like, if you're in the army and your government tells you to go to war. Now and it's an extreme example, but let's think about like people who are like Nazi soldiers or whatever. Now there'll be plenty of people. If you've got if you blindly follow orders and do these things, then you've got to follow your own moral compass in these things. And I think what's most pleasing about this is because the Liverpool players and Jurgen Klopp could have gone, well, listen, and Klopp kind of said it. Look, I'm an employee. It's not. I don't make the decisions, but I'm so grateful that they've had the sense to be able to say, this actually, we use this means more thing. This means more than this. The contract and the money I'm being paid and the pressure I would be put under to toe the company line. I bet the owners are fucking furious, and good. They absolutely should be, because what's the expression about it? Evil just requires good men to do nothing, and that's the kind of situation we've been in here. A lot of people could have turned a blind eye to this because money talks and money corrupts.
But what we're looking at now is our players were put in an untenable position last night, and they didn't have and this is why I love our players so much, right? They focused on the game of footy yesterday, and fair fucks to them for focusing on a game of footy when all this was going on, because I couldn't focus on a game of football yesterday, but they focused and they fought for us for a point. Look, it wasn't good enough, Paul, and today, when they've had the time, they've gone away. Jurgen's obviously going to do his thing. Jordan Henderson has got the captains of the Premier League clubs together by all accounts, and they've got themselves a statement. They got the football out the way, which is what their job is. So they've towed party line there, but they've also done it for us and they've done it for themselves because they want to put a good showing in. Yeah. And then today, they've taken the time to come to the right decision and the right choice for us as a fan base and for them as footballers and for all of us as people. And they're fighting for the same things that we are, which I knew they would do, because we have got a squad that is built in an image that I am very, very proud of. Yeah. And we've got players that I am very, very proud of. And we've got a manager that I am very proud of as well. So, yeah, massive kudos to them. But also, like you mentioned at the start of the show, Paul, you've got your Kenny Dalglish, you've got your Robbie Fowler. It does mean more. Yeah. You can see over the last 48 hours the reaction that it does mean more.
It's ramping up.
It's just that it's our fucking slogan and not some American billionaires.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, listen, we've got breaking news. Man City have released an official statement on the club website. Manchester City Football Club
Popwell have just barred John W. Henry for the win!
Manchester City Football Club can confirm that it has formally enacted the procedures to withdraw from the group, developing plans for the European Super League. So yes, Man City have officially spoken, and yes, Chris Page, like you say, Popwell
bad John W. Henry on Twitter, 5,300 likes already.
Fantastic. It's such a shame. This is a very Popwell kind of night, isn't it? We've even got, we just checked this one, Raheem Sterling has just tweeted, okay, bye. Good. Yeah, good on you. Yes, let's get back to some of your guys' reactions and stuff to this. Let me just make sure we're up to date with what we've got here. Hi, Josh Hall. Hi lads, Josh here from Discord group. For me, FSG are in the same bracket as Hicks and Gillette, spineless rats. Keep the good content coming, lads. It's mad, isn't it? Right? Because I've seen a lot of people going, you see, we've said FSG was shit all along. And this is why it's so complicated, this whole thing for me. Because I'm now like, their position is completely untenable now as far as I'm concerned. But that's why I was so staggered by all this. Because like what I've said is that everything about Liverpool on and off the pitch was running how we wanted to see it run. Liverpool were a sustainable business. They were spending within their means. They were, keep growing the club in all the right sort of ways. Successful on the pitch. They'd assembled a squad of brilliant human beings. They got the best manager on the planet. They were engaging with fans, sending boss night around the world and all those kind of things, and really embracing everything that made us Liverpool in a way that Hicks and Gillette talked about, but just put on posters, but never actually lived, never did anything. And that's why this was so, and this is why I am so shocked by this. Not because I didn't think it was possible. We've got loads of comments about like American sports owners, American owners and stuff in general. But like, it's they have it's gone. Like that's got every ounce of that goodwill has just gone. Like with one web page, effectively, and all the action that goes into leading up to it. Of course, they have set fire to Liverpool Football Club, Liverpool's value, Liverpool's values, to the reputation of the football club, to the fans, to Liverpool's potential for success in the short term. They've completely and utterly set that aflame in 24 hours. It took them, they've owned the club for 10 years. It was 5 years, 5 years of getting it wrong and 5 years of getting it increasingly right. Every window, every season the past, they got it more and more right. And like, this is not the Glazers, like we've known the Glazers are cunts for fucking years. You know what I mean? Like they've been protesting them for years. Arsenal have known that they're run by dickheads for years. Like is what clearly boils down to it's the deception. It's the levels of con that they've gone to here, which I find the most upsetting and most galling.
Well, no, because I don't think it is deception, and yet it is absolutely deception at the same time, which sounds fucking ridiculous because it is, and I understand that. But they have been building up to this point. It has become apparent, hasn't it? That's what they've done for 10 years. They have managed to get Liverpool into a position whereby they'd be considered a massive coup for this European Super League, and they've gone it and they've learned it and they've lived it, and they clearly wanted to win at Liverpool Football Club, and fair play, they won at Liverpool Football Club, and they've provided us with the best team and manager, like you said, Paul. Yeah. But make no mistake about it, this is where it's always been for them. This is where they've always been wanting to go. Now, it may have reared its head in slightly a different way to how they envisaged it 10 years ago, but we have now seen them surface for the first time. Their true selves we have seen, and we cannot unsee that right now. Yeah. They need legging out of our football club.
Yeah, absolutely. Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted, UEFA President Serafin says, I am delighted to welcome Manchester City back to the European football family. I think we can get this up on screen for you guys. They have shown great intelligence. City are a real asset for the game. I'm delighted to be working with them for a better future. I mean, that does ever so slightly make my skin crawl. But yeah, that's it. Well, there you go. That's news.
This is probably where we can start to talk about the next phase of this, because I don't want UEFA. Mm-hmm. I don't want them in charge. I don't want football in the way that it's going right now to exist, because I don't think the levels of competition are good enough. I think there's too much of a bridge between the top teams and the lower down teams. I mean, you'd only have to... Michael Cox wrote an absolutely fantastic article on The Athletic about this. I don't know whether you'd seen it. The whole point of having a league is putting teams in together that are of a relative standard. Yeah. Can you honestly say that about the European leagues? No, you can't. No, you fucking can't. And you can't really say it about the Premier League. Mm-hmm. It's why relegation, and I'm paraphrasing some of Michael Cox's stuff here, and go and read it. It's absolutely superb. But that's why you had promotion and relegation. So the weakest ones came in and the best ones to try and challenge and become as good. We're not seeing teams break into the big six or anything anymore. Not with financial fair play, not without financial fair play. Yeah. Like, something needs to fucking change.
We were talking about it. I was having a good chat with the Toffee TV lads. If you want to go and check that out, it's on their channel. But it feels weird for me to sit here and say this, but Everton were absolutely fucking shafted by this royally. And we put in tribals, but there's part of it because part of them are like, oh yeah, we understand it, but also they were having a little like giggle. And if Liverpool gets sanctioned for this big time, they'll be laughing the cocks off over it, and rightly so, to be fair. But like Everton's owners are richer than Liverpool's owners. Everton's owners are richer than Tottenham's owners, and they're probably richer than Arsenal's owners. And they're one of the richest clubs in the league. They're one of the richest clubs in the world in terms of what the spending power that the people who own them have. But they came in during FFP, so they weren't allowed to spend that money. If Mashiri had took over Everton in the mid-noughties, they'd have been Chelsea by now, or City, and they've not been able to. And then not only that, then the lads at the top, they started to close the door on them, but they said, if you spend, you grow and spend, and then they went.
But we've already got a massive head start on you there, lads. Because we're making 500 a year and you're making 90.
And actually, nah. And I think again, it's cowardice, and Leicester fall into this thing as well, because Leicester have got money to spend, and it's just trying to. Because look, and I get it. There must be jealous glances. It must be weird being sat in a room, with Real Madrid and Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and Juventus, not this season, because obviously Inter Milan are doing the business over in Serie A, but generally speaking, of these lads whose clubs just basically win it every other season. If they don't win it every season, or they might win it 3 years on the bounce, then lose it, then win it one, and then they're more likely to win it than not. And then you're in there going, who's challenging you this season? Oh, well, there's us. Oh, there's also Leicester and Everton and Wolves and West Ham have got these ambitions to do all this kind of stuff as well. And Southampton might do it with a good headwind. You could see Southampton in European football again next season, and they're terrified. And I get it. I get it. If you're a business person and you're investing all this money and you're bankrolling and you're gambling all this money on something that's not a sure bet. But the point is, and you made this point before, is that if you're not prepared, that's what footy is. Now, so you either make a positive change and try to stop football being that, which venture capitalists and co are not going to try to make a business worth less. I'm
so fed up with this venture capitalists. Yeah. Let's just call them capitalists. Yeah, that's what they fucking are.
Yeah. But venture capitalists not spending their own money on these things a lot of the time. These are not like wealthy benefactors. A lot of the times, these are people who just fucking love to throw their money at a wall and have a fucking all the others' money at a wall. But the point is that the reality is, football is what it is. They've not tried to make it better. They've tried to make it better for them. It's not leaving football in a better world. And the reality is, if you're not going to change football to make it better for everyone, then you're not happy with how football is, then fuck off. Just fuck off and go, you know what I mean, and give it to someone else.
This is the time, and I said it at the top of the show, and I truly believe it's right. We need to go for 50+1. We need it in this country. We absolutely do. But at the very least, we need a reform of football. We need to be able to properly introduce a salary cap into football, because why wouldn't you? Like, why is there so much money in this fucking sport? Mm-hmm. Like, why do they need £500,000 a week for like your Lionel Messi's and stuff like that? 50 is enough. Yeah. 50 is fucking enough. Yeah. Like, and look, there are so many problems in the world right now that these venture capitalists, these capitalists won't be involved in it, and that's what we want. Mm-hmm. We don't want them involved in this because they've got ulterior motives. Yeah. Football isn't just an industry like any other industry. Mm-hmm. It should probably be regulated in some way, because it is a big part of the communities from those football clubs, and it always has been. And you can't say that about any other business. Yeah. And Liverpool, apart from recently, actually, with Manchester City, funnily enough, can't just set up a Liverpool somewhere else like the Co-op can set up another shop down the fucking street. Mm-hmm. Like, they've got to make their money from their one place. Yeah. And yet we are starting to see these Red Bulls and the Manchester City groups and all this start to do this. And that's not footy either, to be honest with you.
Though. I mean, again, I can't even... It's too much to get into tonight, but I can't even imagine what it all means. You know what I mean? You got all the Redbird stuff with FSG and LeBron and all the plans to do with all this. Like, you know what I mean? I have no idea what that impacts all of that.
They must have known coming in that this was in the offing.
Oh, 100%.
They
But it's
must
not.
have
But it's
known.
but now that it's not.
But now where's the air going to be? The eye, sorry, going to be sort of pointed here in Redbird. We need to know, to be honest with you.
Exactly. And it's definitely not. There's far too many unknowns on that for today. But Spirit of Shankly have just released an update, which we can go to right now. Spirit of Shankly note with anger the club owners FSG are still hanging on to this shattered nightmare of a European Super League. We are calling on the FSG board to withdraw our club from this catastrophic idea and consider their positions with immediate effect. To coin a previous campaign of ours, not welcome here. Wow. I mean, the breaking news right now, Liverpool Supporters Union, Spirit of Shankly, taking up arms once again on all this, and and we're going to see much more of this in the coming hours. Liverpool, Man City have released an official statement. All the talk is Chelsea have proposed to leave. Still no official word from Liverpool Football Club. It's all stuff through the grapevine at the moment. Mad, absolutely mad. Right, we'll get back to you guys. Comments right now. People are asking for us to explain the 50+1. We'll do our best. Do you want to Google so you've got 100% understanding of that while I read through some comments? Let's not spread more false information. Right, let me see where we're up to with all of this. Right, here we had Josh Hall. Eric Ryan says, also, lads, you've been unbelievable with all the content, using your voice on social media. Love you, lads. Last one got messed up, sorry about that. No, thank you so much, Eric. Ultimate says, can we get another get out of our club from Chris? There'll be plenty more, don't you worry. Matt is lazy. FSG are selling LFC. They got the club on the cheap when we made those other Americans leave. They should have known the power us fans have. Exactly. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous that we're so vociferous on, let's be honest, by comparison to this, furlough is none. By comparison to this, slightly more expensive tickets is like none. They've nearly just had us kicked out of our domestic league. Yeah. Like, they should have known. It's mad. It's an absolute fucking madness, and somebody needs... I said this, I stopped short of tweeting it, but where's Billy Hogan? And I feel a bit sorry for Billy Hogan, to be honest, because, in one way or the other, like, Peter Moore's got off, he's been promoted to that role, and he's been the closest thing we've got to someone fronting it, and he's only been doing that behind closed doors internally to staff. But my God, he should be outside Anfield at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, as far as I'm concerned, issuing a frank and public apology, and not because it's gonna get him back into our FSG back into the good graces, just because we fucking deserve it. Him, John Henry, Tom Werner, et al. Should be in stocks, as far as I'm concerned, outside the Shankly gates. And I'm not looking to throw axes at them or anything. I let's just throw some rotten veg at them for a bit, it'll make me feel a ton better, and then they can get on the way. You know what I mean? A bit like the Highlander, where they tie a big wooden bar to him and just push him out into the wood. Push him out into Chilwell Woods. What have you got?
So Wikipedia. 50+1 rule is an informal term used to refer to a clause in the regulations of German Football League. The clause states that in order to obtain a license to compete in the Bundesliga, a club must hold a majority of its own voting rights. The rules is designed to ensure that the club's members, the fans, retain overall control by way of owning 50% of shares plus one share, protecting clubs from the influence of external investors. So basically what this means, private investors cannot take over clubs and push through things that are commercially more viable than what the supporters actually want. That's what it comes down to. You can't prioritise profit over the wishes of the supporters, because the supporters have the control of the football club, the voting rights of the company. Yeah. That's why it's so important.
You know what's so sad, just to the point before, that if Liverpool had, just hypothetically speaking, if we'd had this over the last 5 years, I don't think they would have come to blows over much. They still would have come to blows over the obvious things, and you probably would have found that we never would have had to go to kick off about the furlough stuff. So the furlough stuff probably doesn't happen. But there's been very few, if any, mad decisions made over that period. And that, again, comes back to it. That's why it's so fucking annoying and sad over this. Man United, they'd have been ripping things up from, for this entire time. But interesting stuff, and it's definitely something that I think, we look at. German football is amazing, by the way. And the problem is, the quality of the Bundesliga is nowhere near as good as the Premier League, and Bundesliga 2 is nowhere near as good as the Championship. But in terms of being a fan going to football, we talked a little bit about this on the show earlier. We went to Bayern Munich. I've been to Bayern Munich twice. I went for a pre-season tournament, and I went for the Champions League game 2 seasons ago. And I've never been treated more hospitably and with more respect. And Bayern Munich are meant to be the absolute devils of German football. Like I've got some Bayern Munich gear because it's Adidas and I quite like it. I get so much abuse for they're the Man United of the Man United don't treat visiting fans like that, like Bayern Munich treat visiting fans. But it's true in Germany. Hoffenheim, to be fair, Hoffenheim wasn't great, but I've heard loads of great things about.
Amazing.
Hertha Berlin was good. I've heard brilliant things about Borussia Dortmund, and just in general, it's just because they treat fans like grown-ups. Now, I don't know if we've got the culture for that in this country, because we've got a lot more knobheads who support football.
There is, because I see people like Les that we know who goes away and drinks with fans of other clubs and returns favours, and he goes out and meets people from away games that he met on the streets 20 years ago, and they come over here, and he meets fans from clubs every year, even when we're not playing them in Europe, because he's struck up these relationships. So there are people at our football club like that, and it should be something that we strive to see. What we don't want is unfortunately what's happened to the Bundesliga, and we're in a position whereby Bayern just have so much more money, but that's also come about for other reasons. It's come about because they've been in the Champions League, because they've had that historical success. Mm-hmm. It's not because they were bought by somebody. They've always been at the top pretty much, haven't they? I mean, they've won 40 plus league titles. Mm-hmm. It's not the last 10 years. I know that. It's not the last 10 years that they've done this, you know what I mean? So and listen, everybody knows that. I'm sure that somebody could buy Dortmund and Dortmund could compete with Bayern. It's just that nobody's bought Dortmund. Or 49% of Dortmund, which is what you can... But doesn't that make you think... I've had someone, a rich owner, who's just happy with 49%, but also believes in the values of the football club.
Well, that's tough, and that's why the 50+1 thing is a very difficult thing to get over the line, and there's not been loads of uptake on it, because imagine being a businessman who would agree to buying a business that he can't make final decisions on things. That's a very, very difficult, sell
that's when
people.
You're relying on rich fans, isn't it, more than anything?
And that's where, again, and we'll see what that means for Liverpool moving forward, because we talk about this all the time. Again, we're not going to do this tonight because it's far too heavy. Maybe we might do later on. We'll see how long this goes. I'm at this point, I'm quite prepared to sit here until Liverpool are formally announced, which might be able to do this at 9 a.m. Maybe I won't last that, but we'll see. It's going to take a lot. That's the double-edged sword of all of this, is that if Liverpool are valued at 3 billion, this is not like when we were valued at 500 million, which is a ludicrous amount of money anyway. There's that, we're into another echelon at the moment, but we'll have to see. Jessica Hannon with the comment here saying, obviously delighted this is over, but I'm ready for us to take on UEFA and FIFA for corruption now, as well as modifying player wages. Absolutely, Jessica. And that's the point. All of us does that. And the problem with this is that it was cause du jour, where everyone's behind it now. Tomorrow we'll be back to something else. Tomorrow we'll be back to a lot of the same toxic banter that exists in footy, because the second this is over, there's nothing to get behind people for the fans for, so you'll get back to just people just calling Liverpool horrible cunts, and we're gonna get slagged off forever and ever and ever because of it, for supporting the club, one of the clubs that did this,
and because we're going to be the last one to withdraw by the looks of things as well.
Absolute knobheads. You're right. We need closer scrutiny on UEFA, closer scrutiny on FIFA, because the idea that now we're sound and we're just going to press on with the expanded Champions League and the expanded Club World Cup,
that Champions League's a fucking half-closed shop. It's only a slightly better option than what we were seeing, and that's what I say. I don't want the focus now to shift from brilliant, we're back in the Champions League, and the Champions League's fine. The Champions League's not fine. Yeah. The Champions League got major issues, but what I find really interesting actually is something that, people are talking about the group stage of the Champions League like it doesn't matter. Fucking Man United got knocked out. Yeah. How many times have Man United been knocked out of the group stages? Tell them it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. Tell them it's a piece of piss, because they're struggling at the moment, and teams do go through that. Yeah. We've gone through that, where it's difficult to get through Champions League things and stuff like that. So the Champions League, as it is as a format right now, the games, the games don't have as much riding individually on them, but that doesn't mean they don't matter.
It's this search for nirvana, and the nirvana of every game has drama and tension.
That's what they're looking for.
Exactly, and it's not possible. In fact, the closest they came to it was that knockout version of the Champions League in the summer, where they created this incredibly tense, powerful footy with no fans, because every game mattered. Yeah. Do or die, in or out. And, you know, and it's like, that's what it was prior to the Champions League.
Good one, lads.
Now, I know it was two-legged at the time, but it was knockout. It was a knockout competition. There is nothing dramatic about a league because
it's a slow burner.
Because you can lose and it doesn't matter. Yeah. You can literally lose.
Jeopardy is what makes sport fantastic.
Exactly. That's why, like, why does one-day cricket exist? Is because it's so hard to sell the drama on a 5-day test match over 5 tests. You know, that's a lot of time.
If someone had just told me, because I thought it was a bit like footy, you couldn't drink. If someone had just told me you can drink there for 5 days, I'd have been there, mate.
Mad. Have you seen the amount of people in knights costumes bevied at the cricket for the last 30 years?
I needed to know when I was 18, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I love a bit of that. But like this is like one-day cricket. Cricket is the best part of cricket is the last 20 minutes. When if there's something on, it's on. And what one-day cricket did was it created that. And this is what Florentino Perez is talking about, by the way, when he says about the attention spans of fans. Now, a lot of this is because, look, I'm seeing this in a new generation, by the way. And I just think a lot of it's changing attitudes of a younger generation of kids. I'm seeing it in my kids. I'm seeing it in family members' kids and all that kind of stuff. Is that loads of kids are still banging into footy and that. But it just seems a bit like it's just a lot of emotion and effort for a lot of people for a thing they don't get to see and experience firsthand. Like, my kids don't understand why I exist passionately about Liverpool, because they don't get to see it, they don't get to experience it, and they've no real burning passion to go to football off the back of it. More needs to be done to get kids into footy all the way through it and find ways to get them into the grounds and all this kind of stuff. And that, again, ticket prices. German football fans, when they charge more than €20 for a ticket to kick off.
Yeah, and they kick off well, and they're brilliant at it. But you're right about the attention spans and stuff, because I see it, because I watched American football and Red Zone came about, and I'm like, I love the storyline of the game. I love the commentary teams and them talking and explaining things. It's brilliant. But then I started to watch Red Zone a couple of years ago, and there is a release of endorphins with every single play, and it's completely different. Now, I came to respect it. Like, I watched the F1. I used to watch the races. I watched the full weekend. Now I treat them like podcasts and stuff like that. They're just on in the background, and I'm listening and learning all about it. But the younger people won't do that. Like Tom, when he first started working here, he used to tell us he fast-forwarded bits of films that he hadn't seen to get to the good bits, and we were like, our heads fell off, and we were like, you fast-forward films, lad!
Sorry,
you're mad.
Adam Lallana's just nearly scored for Brighton against Chelsea. You know, I'm actually quite interested in this game all of a sudden.
Adam Lallana's score is nearly as big a bombshell as someone fast-forwarding a film they've never seen to get to good bits. Well, how do you know when they're coming, lad?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
No, but we all do this, don't we? You know, I love watching footy, but if I watch Super Sunday, I'm on my phone. I actually experience it. I watch it, but I also quite enjoy the reaction to it as well. So, you know, your eyes are not on it in the same way. But yeah, I mean, it's mad. There's lots of things. Anyway, look, we got loads of comments that we did this last night as well. Sorry, everyone. Please do keep your thoughts going. We will get to everyone's comments eventually. Scott Hawks, Scott, $50. Jesus Christ, Scott, thank you. Hopefully FSGC sent. On my way to get my second COVID shot, and I think I'm more relieved about the Super League falling down the toilet. Thanks for having somewhere to come when watching this disaster unfold and implode. No, thank you, mate. Thank you. Special thanks to Scott Hawks, whose generosity is off the charts, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you guys are all brilliant, by the way, but like, honestly, Scott, ridiculous. Snaborn, Stephenson, Super League is also an insult to football all over Europe. I'm from Iceland, and UEFA uses a lot of Champions League money to support grassroots football here. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the thing. UEFA are not without their faults. And again, it's like, if they're going to slap you in the face, at least they give you a tickle of your balls while you're doing it, as you're very fond of saying, is like, you know, the fact that they've got the Conference League. We think it's shit. The same way we think the League Cup shit because we're elitist football snobs. But if you're in the Championship and below, the League Cup's amazing. And bottom half of the Premier League. If you've not won a trophy for ages, amazing. We loved
seen
that
how
2012
teams
one.
react, like Burnley getting into the Europa League a few years ago and stuff. Like, it's amazing.
Don't steal, and that's just fucking insane, isn't it? It's insane. Someone made a great point I heard on the radio before, and I think about some of the trips we've had. And we joke about it. The best fan experience I've ever had was going to Bayern Munich, but also, they've hit the post. Brighton have hit the post, and it's blocked. Oh, come on, Brighton. But also, the worst fan experience I ever had was Belgrade.
Highlights, mate.
It's on, it is highlights, but the worst fan experience I ever had was Red Star Belgrade. But it's also like
it's an experience.
It was an experience.
I needed to experience.
Yeah. Having an entire ground end to end go, fuck you, Liverpool. Fuck. I was like getting spat at by.
If anyone was there, it was one end. So let's say the north end would go, fuck you, and the south end would go, Liverpool, fuck you, and it was like coordinated between the stands. I was like, I ain't never seen this shit in the stand before.
And all that kind of stuff. Like, it was mad. The idea that was going to be taken away from us was mad. Absolutely mad.
But it is all those mad teams and those mad places that you get to go to that makes going to Europe amazing. It's why it was that team that it was like almost impossible to get a ticket for away, because we'd never played them in Europe before. Yeah. And that was just like
trying to get to Maribor.
That was it, was it? Because we'd never played them before. Yeah. And it's like, it's that you'd miss out on as well. Like, I mean, there's so
and
much.
To be fair, if we got kicked out the league, we were going to miss it domestically as well. Like, I've never been to Craven Cottage. Might be a while, yeah. But like, but it's dead hard to get tickets for them, because again, people like ground hopping. People like going to see other football. I get so much out of it. Like, I mean, it's mad to say this given the climate, but like, I going to Fenway Park, and was just an unbelievable experience for me, getting to see the Stadio Olimpico, Rome, getting to see the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, getting to go to all of these places where you get to travel and see all these things. That's a vital part. Going to Bernabeu every season. It's just like, look, I'll be honest, I've been to West Brom twice. I never really need to go to the Hawthorns again. I've got all I'm going to get out of going to the Hawthorns. And so there's a magic that gets lost when you do the same shit over and over again. But I've been to Old Trafford. I don't need to go back to Old Trafford again. But that's what European footy does for you. It sends you on mad adventures. I think about the amount of times we've sprinted through random airport terminals trying to make connecting flights to get to places at piss o'clock in the morning for it, and they nearly took that all away. And to UEFA's credit, at least that their system's not right, but they've got something.
It's inclusive.
The cause right,
and you've got a chance of making it wherever you are. Yeah. Like, that's the thing, isn't it?
If you're going to steal money, at least give something back.
AFC Liverpool can get into Europe. Yeah. It's fucking unlikely, but they can. Yeah. Like, it would be hard enough in this new world for Everton to get into Europe. Just consider those two teams. Yeah. And it might actually be harder for Everton to get into Europe than fucking AFC Liverpool in this new world.
Give you a great example of it, and people will agree or disagree with this because of the example I'm about to use. But like, the beauty of football means that Spencer Owen can start up a YouTube channel, start up a YouTube football team with his mates, found that team as a football club, and enter the football pyramid, enter the FA Cup, and potentially work their way up the leagues. Now, I know that some people might go, traditionalists might be like, oh my God, like, organise this. But imagine this, it's about dreams, right? It's about the dreams of being a footballer and then playing for your local team and playing in a World Cup. Like, what about the dreams of lads who always dreamed of owning a football club? Now, it's actually more, it allows that. You might not be able to go and buy your favourite football club, but you could literally start up your own football team if you wanted to. People are doing it.
With your mates, which is what he did, by the way.
And
he played it with his mates to begin with.
And enter the football pyramid. You know what I mean? And that's like, that. Some people might not like that as an example, but I think there's something beautiful about that. And that's one thing about the English game that's different as well. The FA Cup.
Sorry, I'm just looking at that super sticker, and I think it looked like someone happy, so it's not John W. Henry on his plane somewhere out of here, but my word, Triumph on Tour, 48.99 super sticker.
Oh wow, let me see if I can
That's
get that up. So
incredible, mate. Thank you so much.
My screen will catch up in a moment, but I'll bring that up in a moment. Ben, which one are we telling me to read? Okay, thanks, mate. I'll get the
Madrid Zone, we're being told. I saw someone in the comments there as well, actually.
Okay, so Madrid Zone.
Yeah.
During tonight's Super League meeting, Chelsea have not confirmed to the clubs they're leaving. They only expressed some doubts about the project. They say, according to Madrid Zone.
No, only take first answers.
Atletico Madrid are heavily invested and would only leave if everyone else leaves. Is apparently something they're saying here as well. Man City's the only team to left. Everyone else is still on, they're claiming.
But let me just expand on that Atletico Madrid thing at the moment, right? Because they don't have a chance realistically long term of dealing with Real Madrid and Barcelona without this, without a level playing field of money between the top teams in Spain. So I can understand their position, to be honest with you, and it's actually why I thought that there might be, apart from the obvious fact that they're still in the Champions League semi-final, but City and Chelsea. I'm not having a pop at them here, by the way, but they've got more money than everyone else. So it's actually not that big a fucking deal to them if they come back in, is it?
Well, I've said this about City and Chelsea.
Back to the status quo.
City and Chelsea, I think, were bullied into joining the Super League from the other clubs in the Premier League.
Plus City hated UEFA.
Yes, true. Yeah, absolutely. Which is mad. Like UEFA, that's why UEFA's glowing statements just makes me skin crawl, because again, you know, they've been the kiss arson is mad on it. But the point is that the Man United and Liverpool, especially, and probably Arsenal,
needed this.
Needed to put tight. The only way they could see to shackle Man City financially and Chelsea was to control the league and control the rules and control the punishments. And that was why, you know, so City and Chelsea were always going to be the first ones to pull out of this, because, as I say, and they'd be made up to, if they can enter a world where Liverpool and United get off, they'll be, you know, and get locked out of the domestic league. It's even better for them because they're the other ones most likely to stop them, the ones standing in the way. We got a statement here from the FA. Stan Collingmore's got this on Twitter. A statement from the FA: we welcome the news that some of the clubs have decided to abandon the plans for the European Super League, which threaten the whole football pyramid. English football has a proud history based on opportunity for all clubs, and the game has been unanimous in its disapproval of a closed league. It was a proposition that by design could have divided our game, but instead it has unified us all. We would like to thank the fans in particular for their influential and unequivocal voice during this time, holding true the guiding principles of football. It's a powerful reminder that the game is and always will be for fans. We would also like to thank Prime Minister, Secretary of State and Sports Minister for their unwavering and critical support during these plans. Yeah, again, I find it hard to get really over the top, because they're just, it's the FA are not exactly a wonderful institution in of themselves, but yes, it is another statement from them. Right, let's get back to some of the super chats. We've got tons here. Thank you so much. Oh gosh, we have got loads. So sorry for taking this so long. Craig Tebbs. At least we've got Mbappe 2021 to look forward to. Oh, no, we do not. Just to clarify, there's no way. I can't see any world in which...
There's no way John W. Henry and FSG then have to come back and buy us anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We're not even getting Kabak, lads.
We're
the naughty boys. We're getting sent to the corner. Yeah. You know what I mean? Jurgen Klopp is going to have to sent to the fucking corner of that office in Boston when he goes to see him.
He is going to see... They're going to turn up at Anfield now, just to troll us. Sit there with his cigar and with his feet up on the seat. So, yeah. Varun S. says, Paul, I know you're always a glass half full person, but American billionaires are never in it for anything other than capitalism gone wild for creating an NFL Super Bowl, like extravagance with halftime entertainment and ads galore. This isn't what we really wanted. Yeah.
There was a tweet from Madrid Zone from 22 minutes ago. I was reading comments. If you haven't read the one about Barcelona and Atletico deciding to stay, Barcelona, did you mention?
I didn't see the Barcelona one, actually.
So Madrid Zone again have said, this is 22 minutes ago, so things might have moved on, which is why we probably missed it. The meeting between the 12 Super League clubs is over. FC Barcelona and Atletico Madrid have decided to stay in the Super League. Manchester City have left and Chelsea still have doubts.
Yeah. I mean, be interesting.
But isn't it funny that we're all the clubs with all the fucking debts, like, you know what I mean, as well? And Barcelona and Real Madrid and Perez and all that type of stuff with their £900 million or euros of debt and stuff like that. This is why you've done it. We all know. We've seen behind the curtain. It's all about money. We've realised it. I've loved the fact that I've seen Manchester United's stock market thing again today. And fuck me, it's not where it was yesterday, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry, I mentioned before, by the way, Triumph on tour with the super sticker. We can get it up now so everyone can just have a little look at the wondrousness of it. Just look at that little dancing man on a rocket, absolutely made up. I feel like there's going to be another little twist or turn in this. And that Madrid zone stuff definitely does pour a little bit of cold water on all the optimism around this. But we'll see what continues to come from this as we're going to stay live for this for as long as we have to, really. Right, where are we? The last super chat we read was Kyle Bruggeman asked for us to explain the 50+1. I think we've done that. Hopefully, Chris did that to your satisfaction, Kyle. Ran Rodriguez, guys, what if they do decide to sell, but they sell to another American owner? What then?
Well, this is a genuine concern that I have, because who's going to buy it? Because if there's no fucking FFP and we're in UEFA competitions, then you need an oil tycoon of some description or a sheik to compete.
And they
to compete. Yeah. So, like, where it's from one fucking devil to another as far as I'm seeing it right now, and that's why I think it's important, and I'll bang the drum. The 50+1 is the way for us to go now, and whether that means it's fucking legislation for every club in the country, or whether Liverpool do something fucking different, and whether we as fans do something fucking different and force this issue, I don't know the answer to. But my word, I want to know if it's a possibility.
Trig Josh says, hopefully the Anfield expansion was not dependent on the Super League funding. I read in the Express online that Liverpool hope to begin construction before the end of this year. Now, that's that again. It's just mad. It's just absolute madness that we were having these. You know, the Anfield Road was meant to carry on this year, even despite all the things that's gone on. They've just completed the training ground. You've got LeBron James taking a greater hand in this, but he's a member of Fenway Sports Group eventually now. Why would they? Why would they bother their arse to put any more money into Liverpool? And that's why it is mad. It's a mad situation we're going to face down once the dust is settled on all this, and there's going to be some very, very hard and difficult conversations to be had, because, you know, you're right. I can't see how FSG could possibly continue as Liverpool owners off the back of this, and it's mad because I don't see the Chelsea fans are going to hound Roman Abramovich out. They should do. And there's some really great sentiments from that fan protest, but I would be shocked if they didn't think that they didn't just see this as a success and pat themselves on the back and go back to bed. Man City fans should be absolutely furious with their owners, but they won't be. The Man City fans are not going to turn on their owners off the back of this. We're going to turn on ours, and it's that again. It's going to be a very, very interesting.
It's a bit mad, isn't it? I don't know whether you can just get the Liverpool Echo up. There's a couple of articles.
Do you want to ping me the links and all that?
Yeah, go ahead. And you can get up on the screen, and I'll give it a little bit of a read.
Yeah, let me
start there, because I'll just go through the headline for a start while you pull this up, Paul. FSG standing firm, but pressure mounting from within Liverpool over Super League plan. So this is just sort of 10 minutes ago. Liverpool's commitment to the European Super League is weakening after a whirlwind few hours on Tuesday evening. Chelsea were the first team to back out of the controversial breakaway league that only had its details published on Sunday. Blah, 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 blah. That's it. Is that all of it? That's all of it. That is pretty much all of it. For their part, Liverpool is standing firm for now. Anfield sources indicated that there had been no change in their position on Tuesday evening, but a slew of social media posts from influential members of the playing staff made the feelings known in no uncertain terms. So not much to report.
Yeah, so no concrete movement from Liverpool. As we said, we were hearing rumours, leaking through the grapevine or whatever, that Liverpool, the decision was made to leave. It's mad. It's mad. Just wonder whether it's just like this thing of being sat in a room going, we can't leave because we don't know what happens when we walk out the door. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It's like at the moment, but in reverse. It's like they're inside. It's from the cat's perspective. They don't know what the world outside looks like. Once FSG walk out of the Super League, again, the conversations are, what the fuck are you doing owning our football club? Like, as it stands, they, you know, it's mad, very mad. Oh, Brighton have had a man sent off. Ben White sent off for the second bookable offence. Still Chelsea 0, Brighton 0 as well. We've got another super sticker thingy, apparently. We're going to get, see if we can bring that one up.
It looks like there's 2 by him for me.
Oh, yeah, we've got another one from Triumph on Tour. This time he's got some sort of dancing pair. Go ahead, mate. Anything to bring a bit of levity to the situation. Thank you for that. They are good.
Don't get many of them.
I don't really understand them, to be honest, but yeah, thank you so much for that, mate. Right, let's have another little look at what we've got in terms of super chats. My little thought tree says FSG out. I'd rather have instability from them leaving and keep integrity than the other way around.
Full-time Chelsea 0, Brighton 0, Paul, sorry.
Wow, there you go. So yes, Liverpool's slip up at Leeds United has not cost us anything in regards to hunting Chelsea down.
West Ham, aren't we?
Yeah.
After the weekend's games.
Yeah, point closer to West Ham. So okay, well that's interesting. I mean, it's mad that
footy matter again.
Footy might be in danger of mattering again. That's mad. Sorry, yeah, FSG out, I'd rather have instability than them leaving and keep integrity, says my little thought tree, other than the other way around. Some principles matter more than success. Again, it's interesting. It really is. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have to face a stark reality of what football looks like, you know, and the things that the things that we've been clamouring for, that are things that have led to this situation, the demands that certain people have placed upon football clubs, that they've got to be the ones that buy the big name players, and they've got to have this, and they've got to have all the big shiny things at all times. Well, you know, if it means giving those up to get rid of FSG. I'm not even talking about fan ownership yet, by the way. You know what I mean? That's just the thing. You know, there's a lot of very, very hard questions to be asked on this. But if we could just start, by the way, FSG. You know, I doubt you're watching because you probably got your heads buried in the sand or in your wallets. But do us a favour and just put a statement out now and say that you're out. I know it's probably not what you planned, and I know you've probably put loads and loads of thought into there's probably some great reasoning behind why you think it's the right idea to do the Super League thing, but you know, you've not explained that, you've not come out with anything. So if you're going to come out with anything now, you've missed your window. You've missed your window to back this up. You've missed your window to explain it. It's crumbling. Get out. Get out now. It doesn't necessarily save your tenure as Liverpool owners because you've got another big load of big questions to ask and big questions to answer. But fucking do not be the last ones. Do not be the last ones to pull out of this because, you know, do anything you can to save face at this point. Jesus
Can I just
Christ.
say as well, a jury's just found police officer Derek Chauvin guilty on all 3 charges in the death of George Floyd. Fucking-tastic night for everybody, isn't it, this? Because, you know, obviously it was horrendous what happened with that, and the shockwaves were felt all around the world. And I know it's not something we talk about on Redmen TV, but my word, that is a big win as well.
Yeah, genuinely. I was listening to the coverage of that this morning, and it had all the hallmarks of the way it was explained to the jury about, and it was the way it was explained by the defence of like, here's your get out. Is like, if this is all, you know, because it's the police, here's basically, if you want to get out from giving them any real punishment on this, here's your answer. So no, really positive stuff. Anyway, back to the issues at hand in regards to Liverpool, the Super League, and the collapse that it appears. Still no news on Liverpool, no announcement for Liverpool Football Club. With 10:10 now, Man City have put a statement out. No, I don't believe, no official statement from Chelsea. There's talk that, you know, it's been through the grapevine, again through press insiders are saying that Chelsea are out. But yeah, you know, even UEFA have put a statement out supporting Manchester City as well in that regard, but we'll have to see. Big Johnny says...
Big Johnny!
Hi lads, I'm a City fan. I was here for the fan channel discussion. City still have a lot to answer for. This isn't over. Good luck for the season. Thank you so much, Johnny. Yeah, I do, you know, and this is one of those things, is that I don't know how this can be forgotten. I hope this isn't one of those things where we see it like, this is a bit, because it is such a big win. If a nail can be put in the coffin of the Super League before it was ever even, you know, brought to life, then that is a massive win for football. But it's just one battle, I hope that's not enough to sort of turns people off the bigger discussion.
Can you find somewhere, Paul, where we've got they've got the graphics, haven't they, of what the new Champions League format is?
Yes,
let's
look at that in a bit.
Because let's go into that for a bit.
Let's do that, but we've got about 700 comments here that we need to get through before we do. Leon Geary says, does it matter that they pulled out the damage already done? Where do they go from here? Well, it matters. Look, it matters that people are pulling out because they need to pull out, because they need to make, it needs to be a proper thing. There needs to be backpedaling, and people need to swallow their pride and make statements on all this stuff. Because I understand today's, Leon, and we will be answering these. We won't have answers, but we'll have speculation on where do we go from here. Because honest answer is, Chris has said a few things about fan ownership and all that. I think that's what the ideal we'd all like, regardless. We'd have all liked that anyway. But I think now might be the time to do that. But no one knows if that's possible. It's a great idea. But how feasible is that? We don't know. Because again,
we're
FSG...
just fed up of being fucking walked all over.
Sorry, Chris. FSG haven't even said a fucking word,
no,
Pete.
No,
we've not even heard a word from the owners at any stage during this. So we can't even begin to speculate. This is all just pie. It's all just pie in the sky of what do they do and what do we do next and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it'll keep coming up because it'll keep coming up.
As a football fan of being fucking trodden on at every turn, of having to pay more money every single year, well above fucking inflation and all that type of stuff, and travel costs, and being thrown games on with Bournemouth fans, whether it's Bournemouth coming up to us on a Monday night or us going down to Bournemouth for fucking 12:30 on Saturday. The little man who built this game up with our hard-earned cash, my dad, your dad, go into the game, paying for money on the turnstiles, putting money in the arse pocket of the players. We've built this industry up. It's our industry. We should have ownership over it. It's our money that you've all taken up and sucked out and given to fucking agents and all these people who are superfluous to what the fucking game is. We don't need much. We just need 11 lads who give a shit about kicking a fucking ball around and putting it in the back of the net for the team that plays in red. That's all we want.
Yeah.
I don't want a fucking McDonald's in the Kop. I don't need fucking a McDonald's in the Kop.
I missed the
McDonald's
in the Kop. I missed the McDonald's in the Kop.
I don't need all that. I just want to watch lads who want to play for the fucking shirt.
I'll give you an example.
My shirt, and put their art out there. Don't need much else.
We won the Champions League. And within 2 weeks, people were like, why aren't you signing this player? And why aren't you we won the Champions League, and people got upset because we didn't buy anyone in the summer that followed. And then started questioning the hierarchy in the run of the club, which of course looks very vindicated now. But you take my point, is that there were a ton of support of fans of Liverpool Football Club who were not satisfied with the successes that Liverpool have had. Liverpool just won the two honours you want to win, the honours that you prize above all else, and we weren't happy. And so, to your point, we need to remember what football's all about. We need to get back to the joy of enjoying the game, of enjoying great passages of play and skills and moments and goals. It'd be nice if we could score some. But that's what football is. And if you add up enough of them, every now and again you win silverware. And the entitlement needs to get binned off from footy. And hopefully this is one of the things that this does. I don't hold hope that'll be the case, but it definitely does.
Can you find the tweet from Dan Carden? I believe he has started. Somebody's just saying it. In fact, I'll find it first. So you carry on with them.
Mayfair beats as best as in. Saying from a United fan, I have serious respect for Milner and Klopp for talking out against the Super League. Yeah, absolutely, mate. What little they could do given the situation and how little information they actually had. I thought it was really good at the time. David Fern saying we need a fully organised fan takeover. All of us right now. They only know money. Lead from the front and change the game in this country. You'll never walk alone. Christopher Williams mentioned this is obviously from before, saying Liverpool sponsored Tribus has left LFC. We covered that a little bit earlier on, but fair play, good on them. Nathan Saroon, if this goes through, what happens to our season ticket then? Yeah, no, well, again, these are all mad. None of these things were presented in all of this. It's mad, absolutely mad.
I'll tell you what's been presented. Dan Carden's come through once again. What a guy, MP. Right. Is it Walton? Is he the MP for?
Okay.
I think so. Have you got it?
I've got it right now.
Do you want to go through it?
I will indeed. So, Dan Carden, MP, has written to John Henry, Tom Wayne and Mike Gordon and Billy Hogan. Says, we are writing as local members of Parliament to express our dismay at the involvement of the Liverpool Football Club in the proposal for a European Super League. Proposal to create an exclusive league of super clubs has rightly been met with outrage and heartfelt upset. We have all been contacted by constituents who fiercely oppose such a plan. The creation of a breakaway league by and for the elite, which guarantees inequalities of pay for rich and powerful clubs, regardless of their performance, flies in the face of the principles of fair competition and inclusivity that should underpin football. Liverpool's extraordinary success in recent years was won through merit, in the knowledge that winning or losing would determine the club's involvement in top competitions. Turning your back on that now would undermine the collective effort of the players, managers, staff and supporters. It is clear that the European Super League proposal does not have the interests of the people who follow and love football at its heart. Rather, it is driven by corporate greed, the end of a long road of commercialisation which is tearing the game away from the working class communities that built it. Liverpool FC's involvement would represent a betrayal of the club's roots and an unacceptable way to treat fans who were shut out of this decision. We echo the joint statement made by Liverpool supporters groups opposing the European Super League. We therefore call on you to immediately withdraw Liverpool's involvement in this proposal. Furthermore, we believe that this sorry episode highlights the need to examine new models of ownership in football, which increase democratic participation so that supporters have a real say in how clubs are run. We urge you to meet with us and supporter groups as soon as possible to discuss how to restore trust with those who will feel so badly let down by the events of this week. Yours sincerely, Dan Carden, and also co-signed by a bunch of other MPs
Ian
there
Burns
as well.
there from
Ian
Fan
Baird,
Support
of course,
and good friend of ours.
Alison McGovern, who is the Shadow Secretary for Health and Sport, I believe, as well. He's a big Liverpool fan. Yeah, okay, brilliant. You know, that's it. And that's the thing, you know, again...
Fan ownership was mentioned.
Yeah, and again, these are the conversations that need to be had. The only way FSG can continue in any form of stewardship of Liverpool is if they, you know...
It's our decision, but their money.
Yeah. Is if they allow us a seat at the table, you know, because the point still remains is that you've still got to find someone to fulfill that 50%. We've talked about this earlier. I don't know what that looks like. What's the value of that? You know, how much does that cost? How much does someone have to stump up to find the 49 or 50, you know, 49% or whatever? But yeah, no, this is good. This is the kind of pressure, and this is the stuff that you need. This is everyone getting together and putting a stronger voice. It's not just us sat on a YouTube channel or a few of us outside grounds with banners. You think about football and Liverpool have moved on, and Hicks and Gillette prepared us for this. And it actually meant that we were probably harsher critics of a lot of things that happened in the immediate aftermath of that, because we were still so radicalised. It's like
how we felt after Torres and then Suarez and all that type of stuff. You've been burnt once.
Yeah. But we're doing this now in the internet era as well. Like, you know, when the protest happened in 2010, no, we were the only people covering them. We were literally...
These ones?
Yeah.
Why the shirt is standards corrupted?
Yeah, we were the only people, and we had no subscribers. We had like a handful of 100,000, you know, 1,000 subscribers maybe, a couple of thousand at some point, but very, very... We might have had 1,000 subscribers in those early days, and we were covering... We didn't get...
What were you recording on?
I was recording on a borrowed Sony Z1E with tapes, and I didn't have the facility to be able to get the footage off it, and it was mad. But like, no one was there covering this at all. The BBC weren't there, and LFC TV couldn't do anything, of course. No one was there, and we were the only ones there covering it, and we had a teeny tiny little voice, and now we've got a big voice, and we're a drop in the ocean, and that's how it should be. We're just one in a sea of people now making moves towards this. Fans are mobilised, fans are getting together, fans are not standing for it, and now you've got local MPs who, you know, we've got better people in local government jobs now than we had 10 years ago. You know, it was literally Steve Rotherham on his Todd last year, and I don't even know, would he have even been an MP at that point? I'm not even sure. You know, so like, yeah, you know, that shows we've taken this first step. I'm fascinated to see what we can make happen next. And it could lead to a very positive thing indeed. Right, we need to get back to these comments because we've got loads. Thank you so much for everyone who's getting the thoughts and feelings in on this. Varun, Michael Easter pointed out that the sponsor pulled out Keep Up the Pressure and the good work, lads, FSG out. Varun says, I've been watching since 2013 or 2012, I think. Sorry, I'm only contributing now, but unemployment doesn't help. Don't give us money if you haven't got it. We don't want it. We don't want money. We don't want people to go without. It's not what we're looking for, mate. But thank you so much. It is fully appreciated. It matters, if it means something to you, then know that it means something to us. Joshua, FSG and the other owners might become a scapegoat of what has been a long-standing problem in football. It's time to push away for the FA and government. Right, Joshua's point. I've been sort of banging this for the last day or so. Like, if their intent with this was to facilitate change in football, to say that UEFA are wrong and blah blah blah, then this was the fucking stupidest way on planet Earth to go about doing it. Like, you're saying UEFA are robbing money and they're ruining football. So your solution was to create a little closed shop of 12 of you and shut the door on all the other football clubs and say you're in charge of it. You fucking dickheads. They've been meant to be the smartest men in the room. We've got PhDs working for. We've got people who worked on the Hadron Collider working for Liverpool.
You know what the cleverest people in the world have? No fucking common sense.
Knobheads. Like,
this is a lad who's in school who doesn't like his teacher, who's gone round and kneecapped all the teachers and all the kids in his class and set his own fucking school up with 6 idiots. That's what he's done. Yeah. And then he's realised, I've got no teacher.
We have got, like, experts in the world of football and data and analytics. We've got some incredibly intelligent people employed by Liverpool Football Club. And, again, and this is the point, if you're trying to make a point, you need to have some sort of morality. And this cause had zero morality from the get-go. Ridiculous. You've got, and it's mad, because you needed to sell Jurgen Klopp on it. Because if Jurgen Klopp had come out and said the way, because he doesn't like the way UEFA's Champions League plans. He said it himself on telly last night. He doesn't like FIFA's World Club plans. We've read that.
We read that one.
Yeah. He's spoken out about what he doesn't like. But if he'd come out and said, because of this, I think this is a plan to sustain it. I don't think he'd have ever gotten behind it, by the way, in a million years because of the closed shop thing, because he likes competition. Jurgen Klopp loves footy, everyone. So when we hear him talk about the welfare of players, people go, oh, he just wants 5 subs because it'll benefit Liverpool. Like, yeah, but also he genuinely just loves footy. It's mad. Like,
it benefits everyone.
Honestly, I can't even put into words. Like, I have been privileged to spend time in the company of Jurgen Klopp, and he is, all the positive things that you think he is, he just is.
And more.
It's mad. He does. He just loves footy. He loves footy. He told me a story, by the way. I've told this in other places. How, like, his missus was away, and he was sat at home, and he was like, had nothing to do, and he flicked the telly on, just sat on the couch flicking the telly on, and the Champions League final came on again, and he watched it, and he just had a big cry on his own on the couch. Like, this is like 9 months after winning the Champions League. He's just a good fella. But the point is, if Liverpool wanted to get this over the line with fans, and that's why I feel so weird and sceptical about the whole thing, because how can you be so stupid? How can you be so fucking blindly stupid as to not... Liverpool have put no effort into selling this.
No, you're right. And we were saying before, weren't we? If you want to sell it to Liverpool fans, you need to sell it to Jurgen Klopp. Because if Jurgen Klopp tells us it might be the best thing for us, we'll stop and we'll listen. Because he's got credit in the bank. But why didn't he? Because they knew it wasn't going to get past Jurgen fucking Klopp.
Send Billy Hogan out.
But they knew it wasn't going to get past Jurgen Klopp, so they didn't fucking tell him, Paul. Because he wouldn't stand for it either. Yeah. And that's part and parcel of it. And we love our manager, and we think the world of our manager. Carragher was saying this last night, wasn't he? On Monday Night Football, which seems a fucking long time ago, actually, a lot of conversations ago. And like, there's no way Jurgen would have gone in for this. Mm-hmm. So they would have had no manager for fucking 4 months probably, and then had to announce that we were entering into a European Super League. So this was their only ploy. This was their only play. This was their only option for us to get into this bloody league, is to hope that Jurgen somehow is strong-armed into it. And unfortunately, or fortunately I should say, every football fan around the country has stood up. City fans, Leeds fans, Chelsea fans, everybody stood up. Fair fucking play.
Yeah. William Young says we cannot allow FSG to be forgiven after this. They push big picture as well. They don't care about us as fans. If we can, we should get them gone. Yeah, that absolutely, mate. Lewis Merritt, whatever happens, FSG out now. The trust is gone. Triumph on Tour has also sent the wonderful super stickers. How much do you think Nike were brought in on this from early doors to get their grubby contract over the line with our beloved club? Again, these are all mad things that we're going to see in the coming weeks and months. Like how much of this has been done on the fly? How much consultation was done with the variety of partners and stuff around on these things? Because we all love a good conspiracy theory. Because of the connections with Nike, because of LeBron to Nike, it seems mad that there wouldn't have been something in that. Mad. So what does that mean moving forward?
If they can't tell the players and they can't tell the manager, then I'm thinking they can't tell the sponsors either. But I don't know what those sponsorship contracts are like, and none of us do. And they're pouring huge sums of money into the club, which is different to employees of the club.
Yeah. Interesting to see. Maximilian Foreman, the basic premise of business is to supply what people demand to do otherwise or force a product on people is pure arrogance. To collude to do so and fix prices within many countries is illegal. Yeah, and this is the thing, again, it's the boldness, the balls, the brass, of it to be like, we've decided this. And, it feels like, that is what it feels like, a power grab. It feels like a mad situation. And there's so much more to come out from this in the coming days. And right now, all I want is a statement from Liverpool's owners saying that we're out. That's all I need to see right now. And then I need a good night's sleep. And then we need to see where we need to get our, take a deep breath, gather ourselves and have a look at where the land lies. We still haven't had that yet, by the way.
Perez is going live in 5, by the way.
Oh, yeah, apparently so.
We'll stay for that.
Yeah, 100%. We're not going anywhere yet. I'm happy. I'm still going. I might need to stop and have a drink in a minute. Drink. Do you want to go and get yourself a drink?
I'll get a drink. I'm just going to get myself a drink, though, Paul.
Yeah, you do that. I'll need the moment to compose myself. So you go and get yourself a drink, and then I'll do the same. Ben, how well framed? That's Chris's camera. Well done, Ben. There we go. Just to prove Chris Paycheck's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Sal. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, we've got a load of super chats, which I will get through as many of them now as possible. If you wanted hard news, you've come to the wrong place. Hard news presented with a smile and mad insanity along the way. To Maximilian Foreman's point, it's crazy. Because we've talked about this. Chris mentioned this last night, and Flav brought it up on the show earlier on today, that when you're a shareholder of a business, your responsibilities legally are towards the shareholders and the correct running of that business. So if you do something, you can't do anything to damage the value or brand or whatever of the club, which is mad. So I wonder whether that's a thing. So from a business, we were talking about this from a business perspective, means they have to go for things that will perceivably bring money into the club and do that. But on the same point, to Max's point there, is that you've irreparably damaged Liverpool's reputation with what they've done here. You brought the club into disrepute. How is that fulfilling your obligations as a shareholder of Liverpool Football Club? It's crazy. It's genuinely crazy. If any one of us did something like this, we'd be hounded forever. We wouldn't be allowed to set foot back in Anfield. And yet, these are guys who are supposedly got it's a business asset. It's mad. It's mad. I get they've tried to do something that brings more money in. But how stupid can you be that you can look at that and not get the backlash and get the negativity? It's moronic. Liverpool have got one of the greatest football men going right now in current football, and Jurgen Klopp under their employ. They've got Kenny Dalglish, who's a member of the football club. They've got Tony Barrett, who was a scouser and was a very, very well respected journalist before taking his role at Liverpool Football Club. Drop them a WhatsApp, lads. And to Chris's point, it only stands to reason that they've not consulted more with these guys is because in the absence of further information on this, we have to presume and assume the worst. And that is because they genuinely believe that these guys will try to stop them from doing this. And if they feel that was the case, that the good, intelligent football men within the business would have stood in the way of this, then they knew they were doing something wrong. And that's absolutely reprehensible behaviour. And the fact is, until FSG come out and say something publicly, then we're entitled to believe the worst in them. It's not on us to defend these abhorrent actions from the football club owners. Any of them who've been involved in this, because we're fans. They've tried to make football worse, and the game that we love. So I could sit here and try to rationalise what their thinking was on it, but like, why should I? Why should any of us? There's no pressure on us to do that. Fuck them. If they want to come out and they want to let their side be known, then come and do it. Where are you? Where is John Henry? I don't expect John Henry to come out, by the way, because it's not John Henry's role at Liverpool. He gets oversold sometimes. I don't expect Linda to be tweeting about it, but I expect Tom Werner to be out doing something about it. I expect Billy Hogan to be stepping up and talking about it. Where are they? Where are they? They've not lost the phones. We live in the most connected age of all time. Where the fuck are these people? Why have not one of them got the grace and dignity to come out and say something, anything to us? Even if only say, we'll be talking about this at this date. The only information we've had come out from these people was from a leaked email sent internally to Liverpool Football Club employees from Billy Hogan, and that got to the Athletic and got to the press via that. They cancelled the meeting with the Liverpool staff today to tell them more information. Nothing. Radio silence from Liverpool's owners still. 10:30. 10:30. Man City are out. And still we've heard nothing from Liverpool. It's an absolute piss take. Right. Varun saying, Paul, I know we always bang the drum about being a socialist club and all, but I'm worried that we're becoming the thing we dreaded the most, the sellout dystopian future, if we become 50,000 Yanks plus one Scouser in the stadium. Yeah, it is. It's, we've been going this way. The whole world's been going this dystopian future. We're living in the darkest timeline at the moment, aren't we? Mise en scène, which is a very niche film student reference in a name there. We'll never forgive FSG. Hope they pull out of this disgrace. Keep up the amazing work on the channel. Met your lads in Boston a few years back. Good luck. Oh, I remember the days when we could go to Boston because we felt positive about things. Oh, that'd be great. Chris Pajak rejoins me in the studio.
Are you up to Robin Frost, by the way?
I am just up to Robin Frost right now. Excellent. A Norwich fan excited about playing the Reds next season. I hope we strive to play the great English clubs. Great work. That's a Norwich fan, and they get twatted by us every single time they play, and he's excited because that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of football, because we live in hope, because Norwich have got every chance of turning us over next season, because that's the beauty of football. Anyone can beat anyone. That's why footy's great. That's how Liverpool got to a Champions League final. In 17-18, we came into the Champions League from nowhere. We hadn't been in Europe the season before. We came in out of the cold and got to the final and nearly beat the 12 times going 13 times holders in the Champions League.
We did, mate.
That kind of thing was only based on time and history. What's to say that like someone else couldn't have done? Someone else could have hired Jurgen Klopp and made some of the similar transfers to what we've done. That could have been Everton, and that had been shut out. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Right, we're up to Shrivkar Kovali, Chris.
Thank you very much. Just check the framing on that one for us. As an international fan, I try to imbibe Scouse culture. I'm fuming that FSG with 10 years of ownership have failed to get the cultural fabric of LFC. This Shrivkar, thank you so much for that, mate. And one of the things I want to say to all the international fans of Liverpool is this has never been, and I think everybody knows this about international fans. Perez has swerved it, right? And we'll talk about that in a second. This has never been about international fans and local fans of football club, and I'm glad that it hasn't been about that, by the way. This has been about football fans, but what I have loved most about the last 48 hours is that every Liverpool fan that has been engaged with us, I've noticed that a huge proportion, nearly probably 100% of people who watch the game from elsewhere stand with us on this because they understand it, and because, like you, they have imbibed the culture of Liverpool football fans and they have understood English football culture, whether that be you're a Liverpool fan or a Chelsea fan or a City fan or whatever. Every single one of you seems to understand implicitly, and I'm not looking down on you, and I hope it doesn't sound like that. I am in awe of that because I don't know whether I can put myself into somebody else's culture and understand it in the way that I've seen people understand football culture from around the world, and I just think that's fucking outstanding, to be perfectly honest with you.
You're talking about the fans from other parts of the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I've always tried to make clear, there's a differentiation, and some people don't see this because they don't see the nuance of it. They see people who turn up to Anfield and they're taking photos of themselves and all that. As the day trippers is a notion that everyone who isn't from Liverpool, who just goes to one Liverpool game, out a random football game, is someone not a proper fan of the club, which is horseshit. Like, there are people who go to every football game, every football ground will have this every football match. People who go because they've come to Liverpool on holiday, and they just, they'll go and do the Beatles tour, and they'll go and see the Albert Dock, and they'll go to Tate, and they'll go and see, the Graces, they'll go and see the Live Birds, and they will go, and they'll go, oh, we'll go take in a show, oh, and we'll go and take in a football game, because we're having a cultural experience. We went to watch the Mets.
We were day trippers.
We had no fucking idea who any of the players were. We got a guy hit 3 home runs, and we got off after two. Because we were like, man, there's no way he's ever going to hit 3. Like, a historic moment in baseball. And we were like, right, we'll fucking get off because we want to get back before the rush. We want to get a taxi before it gets busy. So we missed the 3rd home run in the Mets seats. It was fucking pathetic. But we were day trippers, and there's that.
That's a day tripper, mate.
That's
we
a day tripper.
Trippers.
But that's not the people who go once because they've saved up for their entire life and they live and they breathe Liverpool. And they would choose to be born in Liverpool, and they would choose to live in Liverpool if they could. They would love to have the connection, the born connection that we have.
You also don't know the story. Like, I've met people outside Anfield who've come and made themselves known to me, who've said, I've been saving up for this for 4 years. Like, you know what I mean? And like, that might just be the first time, might be their only time. But imagine 4 years of saving up to come and see Liverpool Football Club. That's something that you've got to aspire to, and you've got to hold up on a pedestal and say, that is a football fan right there.
You might have said it, but I say this all the time. Like, whenever we play those games in America and we're not there, and they're on at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I struggle to stay up and watch them. I mean, obviously friendlies, it doesn't matter as much. But I said it before, I wouldn't follow if football games were played at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't be a fan. I just wouldn't be a fan of football because it's not in my life to do it. Like, I would probably just like something else that was in the time slot that footy is. So like the dedication of people who not only understand, who learn all the songs and they learn the culture and they fully immerse themselves in Liverpool, and then also get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, watch a game, and then go to work. Like, that's more dedication than I would be prepared to show to being a Liverpool fan. I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate that we've got it in our time zone, to be honest.
Jamie Loudon.
Lads, it's been a very hard 48 hours. Spent all of it disgusted. FSG, just something, please, for fuck's sake. Poor Chris and the team, thanks for all you do. Thank you so much, Jamie. Mike Ashcroft, those vampires won't give up. Do you seriously think they will back out until it's completely dead? That's it. There's the party's up, lads. There's no more fun to be had from the Super League party. It's done. Get out. Get out now. Leave before the lights come on, as the Arctic Monkeys once sang. Because you don't want to see what you've done. You know what I mean?
Are they singing about the crazy house?
Yeah, probably. You don't want to see the sticky floors, and you don't want to see the state of what you've pulled. So just get off now. Get off now. Have an early night. Get to bed, and just let us know. Let us know that you're getting off, if that'd be nice. Let us know you're on your way home. Just swing us a text to let us know you're safe. You got home safe, right? Jordan Huntley, owners of any organisation are meant to also be leaders. FSG are cowards and do not deserve to be associated with this great club whatsoever. The point I was making, Chris, when you were getting your drink, I don't know how much of it you heard or not, but we talked about like the responsibilities of shareholders, and we talked about this like as a business, you're responsible to the shareholders and to bringing the money in, but you're actually also responsible to the integrity of the business to make sure that it's run correctly and properly. And that's the thing in all this. FSG have not owned this in any way, shape or form. The silence is the most baffling part of all of this.
Is it a bank holiday in America?
Like, honestly,
just not working.
Genuinely, it's like I if that statement had come out on April Fool's Day, you couldn't have written it any better. The idea that a statement that Liverpool, with all these values and the way all the shit they've been selling about us for years, and they've backed and they've helped to do, like that thing with the fan groups with Spy and Cop and Nike to get like kits for underprivileged kids, and again the Boss Night stuff and all this kind of stuff. All they've done to embrace the Liverpool culture, and then to then put that out and then not even have them stay and have Man United's owner be on the sign his name on it and be the voice of it, like. You couldn't write it as parody anymore.
Fucking the Man United Glazer being on Liverpool's website with a quote, first of all, shocking. it was about 15 words, wasn't it? Like how, 10 seconds of your time to write something similar?
Make your own version. Yeah, put your own spin.
Come on, fucking send a template to all of them.
Chris, Jesus
and just
Christ.
put that in your own words.
Sponsorship deals
Exactly.
go, here's roughly what we'd like you to say, but say it in your own words. Yeah, no problem.
Come on, fucking hell, John.
Yeah. You don't have to do it verbatim. Just stick to, we've all been guilty.
Say something like this. It's the footballer tweet, isn't it? Say something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. Let's keep going through the comments. Steve, couldn't be prouder of our players. You'll never walk alone. Richard Pierce, new plan. 3 Spanish teams, 3 Italian teams, Arsenal, Spurs, 8 teams, no matter where they finish, they all get through to the quarter-final. What a competition, yeah. At least that gets the... just 8 teams gives you the drama straight off, doesn't it? Yeah, just a handful of games. Don't even bother doing 2 legs. God, I hope we pull out, Chris. Cam Michael with £10. Thank you, Cam. Mike Ashcroft, salary cap transfer fees, cap agent fees, absolutely. Dan Knowles with the super chat with £1. Thank you. David Everett, as an American and LFC membership holder, I'm a little disappointment in the American owners, though I believe it was pressure from the likes of Madrid and from American business mindset makes more sense. Oh, yeah, again, look, this is the thing, we talk about this all along. Bubbles are a big problem in life. They allow you to get to think that what's going on around you is what everyone's thinking in a wider sense. So you think, if I can ask the 5 people around me, you think you're getting you can feel like you're getting a cross section of life. Now we discovered this around the general elections, where you think that we're winning here, and you realise no, you're just an echo chamber of all the people who feel the same way that you have, and it's nowhere near as expansive as you're thinking or hoping.
Because you surround yourself with like-minded people.
When you've got John Emery and the Glazers all sat around a table having dinner and go, God, isn't it hard being a football club owner?
What we really need is guaranteed.
Hey, aren't these players getting bloody expensive? That UEFA, God, they take a big chunk of that money. Why did they take it? Well, so have you seen the latest figures? Well, 90% of the income from football is generated by these football clubs. Well, we're those football clubs. Why don't we get more of the... And yeah, of course. It's like if you're in an argument with someone and you've been a bit of a dickhead, but you tell your side to your mates, and your mates will go, oh my God, yeah, you're right. And you're like, I am right, aren't I? Whereas, but no, because you don't go, I actually said it, the tone I actually used was this. And then the person on the other side is doing the same with their it's mad. They've clearly just talked themselves into this fucking nonsense. Right, George Dev, we need our biggest sponsors to come out and say the club has 24 hours to leave the Super League or the contract will be terminated, hurt their pockets. And that's my only hope on this. And this is why I think Man City, it's easier for Man City to pull out, because let's be honest, their owners have invented all their sponsorships anyway. So it's not like they have to worry about any of those contracts one way or the other. My only hope in this is that because contracts have been done and potentially signed, if Liverpool are going to come out with something, then having not spoken, they might as well come out. If they come out, it best be something fucking mega. Like, it best be a very well considered thing in this regard, because I can only imagine that that's a lot of things. They must be having a lot of conversations. Now, again, that's me maybe giving them too much faith, because again, I have lost all faith in these owners because of the shocking betrayal that this last 48 hours has been. But I can only fathom there must be more to it than that, because there must be loads of moving pieces. No,
they're not. They fucked it. They've shit themselves, and they don't know a way out. And they're trying to ensure that they can get maximum value out of Liverpool Football Club. That's the only way that I can see it right now. And their silence enables them to plot their best way out of it. And as the landscape keeps moving, for me anyway, and this might be completely wrong, for me, as the landscape keeps changing, they're having to rewrite this over and over and over again, because it would have been so much easier if they just came out the first fucking club and pulled out and went, we've seen it. But they've backtracked 2 or 3 times as Liverpool owners, and they know they're not getting a free pass this time around. Yep. They know that we want them out of our football club, and they need to go out of our football club. And they're trying to work out how they can extract as much value for their asset as humanly possible. Damage
limitation. And to be fair, that's kind of my point on this, to be honest, right? Let's see. We have got a tweet in here right now. Bear with me. Simon Stone is tweeting, understand the remaining 4 English clubs will formally withdraw from Super League this evening. I mean, it's not technically evening anymore. I'm a little worried that he's in a different time zone and he means tomorrow, which means we are not going to bed. But that's a...
Poor Ben is dying in there.
Yeah. Bless him. He's done a big couple of days. Everyone has. I blame the other lads for not stepping up. Right.
Text him. Yeah. Get your replacements in, Ben. We're here all night, mate.
Yeah. So we'll get someone send Red Bull for Ben. Right. Sound. Oh gosh, we've got loads here still. Jude Dev said that. Yeah. Robert Schrader says, "Will you both close your JP Morgan accounts now?" What's a JP Morgan? Is it a bank account?
No, they're not. They're not. It's not a bank, is it? It's an investment banker, isn't it?
No idea. Mr. Dead Inside, but still horny. Familiar? Is this you? Is this your pseudonym?
Half right.
Yeah, Mr. Not Horny, but Dead Inside. Yeah. FP Jack Nudes prints off a pic of Perez and take an audible slash on it. Peter Kaczynski saying, love your content. Thank you so much. Ran Rodriguez. What if the Super League was a 20-team league with promotion and relegation? Would your team still not want that over the Champions League? I said, look, I'll be honest, you'd need to see it all laid out. The problem is, at the moment, it's too many games. It's too many games of football. There's too many games of football in the football calendar right now, and they're only adding games to it. That is one of the fundamental things that needs to get sorted in whatever comes next. Adding football matches, as much as it's like, oh, great, we all love the football, it's not the answer. And the problem is, of course, when you add football matches, you need more money, because you need bigger squads, and football continues to eat itself. It's the Robert Ross, it's the steak that continues to eat its own tail.
It's just a fucking virus, Paul.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's what greed is. It's just a fucking virus that continues to gnaw at everything around it and keeps growing and growing and growing inside of a body.
And the answer is, and again to the point, the Champions League, Jamie Carragher made a good point. He said, like, the group stage has gone a bit stale and it needs refreshing.
I said before, though, Man United keep getting knocked out. That's just stale.
Yeah. But it's, again, with anything, even if it doesn't mean, you mix it up for a season or two and you try something different. I don't know what that looks like, to be honest. And you need to do something different. This idea of having these pseudo Swiss model leagues and stuff is just a bit mad, and we need to see how that works. That would be different. And the thing is, if that doesn't work, you can
statement coming from
switch
Liverpool.
It out. Oh wow, okay, sorry, let's just stop what we're doing here. Neil Jones from Goal has been tweeting. We're going to get that up for you right now. Neil Jones Goal says, we can get this up for you right now. Statement due from LFC regarding their withdrawal from the European Super League. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Well, we haven't got it yet, but that feels like we're getting there. It feels like we're on the verge of it. Stay with us, everyone. When that happens, we will bring it to you. Wowzers. We've had another super stick. I'm going to try and update so we get that through on the screen for you in a moment. Thank you to everyone who sent all these comments in, by the way. Gavin Brown. Oh, he's got the Rocket Man again. Oh, we love the Rocket Man. Look how happy he is. What are YouTube on, lad?
I don't know, mate. Give me some of that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, give me some of that kind of movie. Right, Sal. Oh, wow, we've got...
Chris Williams tweeted too, I believe.
Okay,
I don't know what that is.
Hang on a second. Just want to hear from our friend Emma Sanders from the BBC, a big contributor to the Redmen. Says, Adam Lallana to Sky. She's quoting here. Jordan Henderson has proven on countless occasions he leads all the captains and the club. What's shown in this is that in football we're stronger together than anyone. We didn't want the Super League to happen. We wanted games like this to have meaning. Brilliant statement there from Adam Lallana.
I've just WhatsApped you the Chris Williams one.
Okay.
Because it's different news.
There you go. Sad.
Tell him WhatsApp.
Chris Williams, breaking. UEFA delegates receive first notice that the 6 English clubs now intend to rejoin the ECA. Okay, there you go. Something.
Have to do that to play in the competitions.
Well, you've got to do, yeah. If you want to be involved, then you've got to be at the table, haven't you? I mean, again, this is the thing. Maybe there's just that thing of like, there's always the feeling that you need to be inside to change. You can only change from within. Yeah, I can't. It's a bigger thought for a bigger day. My brain's not really engaged with all that at the moment. Right, okay, here we go. David Ornstein is now tweeting.
What is this like when someone's typing in WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Are we waiting for the tweet?
While it loads.
Tweeting.
Arsenal, pardon me, out of proposed European Super League at The Athletic at #AFC. So there you go. Arsenal out now. Liverpool statement incoming. They need to get...
fourth?
Well, like, yeah,
or
we're going to get a timeline on this. It's a fucking race. Don't be the last one in the room. Don't be the one who has to turn the lights off. I want that to be Perez. I want Perez left in the room on his own. I want footage of it. Right, let's get back to the comments. Well, we can. Kamal Aki, LSE fan from Washington, D.C., #FSG out. Love you guys. Thank you, Kamal. Daniel Pendergast. Chris, do you think Peter Moore left the club because of what was about to happen?
I don't know, but I'm going to ask him.
Props if he did. Keep up the good work.
Props if he did. It wouldn't surprise me if he was unhappy, but it also wouldn't surprise me if 3 years was what he wanted at Liverpool, and he'd won it, and
his contract was up, wasn't it? You know.
And also I know for a fact that, you know, Billy Hogan was being groomed for that role. Everybody knows that he was being groomed for that role. And he's worked for FSG since, like, is it 2009 or 2013, something like that. So, you know, he was always going to be a successor at some point. It was about when he was ready. He proved to FSG that he could do it in the commercial departments, you know, opening up that London office. I think he was the one who opened that London office, wasn't he? And doing that and bringing the sponsorship deals in. And so certainly he'd done what FSG wanted, and maybe he was the guy to take them forwards in that regard. Right,
okay. The United Stand... Mark Goldbridge, our friend over at United Stand, tweeting official Manchester United are out of the Super League. There you go. I mean, I'm not sure that Mark's necessarily got his thumb on or finger on the pulse any more than that, but it definitely is. You know, if what we're reading is to be said, if the football clubs are re-signing with the ECA and there's a statement coming on all these things, then yes, there we go. It looks like this is all starting to come to an end. David Lynch, another good friend of ours, David Lynch himself has tweeted saying LFC set to confirm they won't proceed with plans for a European Super League, a resounding victory for supporters and football lovers. Wow, okay. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting the flying in by the seconds. The tweets from all the journalists. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. The Super League is dead, and we're on the verge of having confirmation that Liverpool Football Club have done the right thing. A bit late, but they are doing the right thing and pulling out. On the Peter Moore thing, we'll ask and we'll know. But I do suspect that because we talk about being someone to front things.
He couldn't.
I don't think he could conscionably have been the man to front this.
He couldn't, and he wouldn't, judging by his tweets from this evening.
Exactly. Mantis ZA, thank you so much for the Zars. Ty Roberts says now they need to fix the offside rules. VAR would be the second if those crap offsides hadn't disallowed goals. Oh, God, don't. Not tonight, for another night. Yeah, sad. Oh, hang on a second. I think I missed the Madrid zone stuff about Perez. They say this will be the longest night in European football history. Everything will be decided tonight. It's so fascinating to see how all the how Madrid and the Madrid side of things are going to be handling this, because, like, I know Liverpool are going to be in some. There's going to be Liverpool are going to be in a shit situation, you know, financially and all this off the back of this. But like Real Madrid are goosed. Absolutely goosed, and so Barcelona.
And you're fucking lying it. This is woe is me from Real Madrid. They've known the rules of engagement of Champions League. They've known about how much money you get. They haven't got out the Champions League once. They've fucking won it 3 years on the bounce. Mm-hmm. They've won it 4 in 7 or something like that, and they've racked up £900 million a day. Don't give me woe is fucking me for Real Madrid. Yeah. You couldn't earn more money. You knew what the earning potential of winning the league and winning fucking the Champions League was. And you overspent it all, mate, every single year. Fuck off.
Yeah. Here we go. Is this it, Ben? Hello. Here we go. Liverpool Football Club can confirm that our involvement in proposed plans to form a European Super League has been discontinued. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for standing together for this.
There's a couple more lines actually on the website.
We're going to get to that in a second, but I just want to say Thank you so much. What if here we go. In recent days, the club has received representations from various key stakeholders, both internally and externally, and we would like to thank them for their valuable contributions.
Where's John's fucking line? Where's John's fucking line? You think that's enough? You've put me through the ringer for 48 hours, you fucking shower of shite.
Pathetic, by the way. Pathetic. Right, let's park that to one side. You, everyone at home, football fans around the country, journalists, MPs, everyone who stood up against this, thank you. Thank you for all the support that everyone has done collectively for this. Fans of the other 5 clubs involved in this absolute fucking sham. Fans of every football club around the country. Fans of football clubs around the globe. Thank you so much for standing up to this. You know, we've tried our best. We're just people on the internet. It's fucking not on. It's a drop in the ocean. It's, you know, we needed everyone together. Thank you for the Chelsea fans for protesting. Thank you for the Leeds fans for protesting. Arsenal fans, the Liverpool inspiring Cop 1906, Spirit of Shankly, everyone. Thank you so much for standing up for what was proposed as one of the most corrupt proposals and anti-footballing potential competitions. And the Super League, we can say it now, is dead. The Super League is dead. Liverpool will not be a part of it. The English clubs will not be a part of it. The proposed European Super League is dead. What comes next, we don't know. And what comes next from Liverpool needs to be a damn sight better than 5 lines on a fucking website. Because that is a disgrace. That is an absolute disgrace. You know, I've been talking about this, and I'm certain there'll be more to follow. But what
could have done that at 6 o'clock.
Why the fuck have they not done this, Chris Pajak? Like, what? I'm sorry. And I know, like, we all redraft our WhatsApp messages and we redraft our tweets and we go through all these things. You know, we've redrafted 140 characters a lot of times over the last decade. And you've got to get the phrasings that right. That is pathetic. That is fucking pathetic. Whose words are those, Liverpool? Liverpool Football Club. This is why they're in trouble, by the way. And this is why when Jurgen Klopp says it's not us, it's because of fucking obfuscation like this shit, which makes it seem like Liverpool from top to bottom has been involved in this decision. It hasn't. It's you, FSG. It's the Liverpool owners and the Liverpool CEO and their head muckety mucks at Liverpool Football Club have made a catastrophic, moronic decision, and this is shameful. This is not even Bapper. Where's your apology? And it only says to me right now, Chris, is they're not apologetic at all.
They're not. They've been caught with the fucking hand in the cookie jar. Yeah. And they've got fucking chocolate chips all around their mouth and they've been sent to bed. And they're getting legged out of this city. They're getting legged out of this football club, and it's the way that it should be. Liverpool fans have won. Football fans in this country have won. We have beaten the fucking billionaires. But this is we're now standing on your fucking head as we march on for our football club. That's what's important to us now. You're just fucking one person in the way. You're just one group in the way. We want our football club back. This battle is a battle. This is not the fucking war. The war for the soul of Liverpool Football Club started today. Yeah. The first battle has been won, but we're fucking coming for our football club.
Yeah, 100%. Kenny Dalglish has tweeted, we can get that up for you now, the fans have always been and will always be integral to Liverpool Football Club. In so many ways, they are the club. I'm relieved to know that the club has listened to them. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Kenny. Yeah, completely. It's insane. It's insane. Why would you not speak to Kenny about this beforehand? Like, why would you not?
Because like Jurgen Klopp, he'd say no. Yeah. He'd say you're an idiot, and they wanted to ask for forgiveness and not permission. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolute fucking piss take. Right, we're going to keep going because we've got loads of comments and reactions to this we want to get through from you guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's been joining us with this. The news, the breaking news, the Liverpool have pulled out of a potential Super League. The Super League concept is dead. Confirmed. Official.
Have you seen Arsenal's?
I have not seen Arsenal's. Let me get Arsenal's up right now.
There's a football club for you who've made a mistake and understand they've made a fucking mistake.
Right, let's see.
And just look at the tweet.
Wow. Arsenal, as a result of listening to you in the wider football community over recent days, we are withdrawing from the proposed Super League. We made a mistake and we apologise for it. Like, I mean, this is the thing.
They still made the mistake. They're still fucking dickheads. They're still a fucking ruling family that wanted not what we wanted, but they've at least had the balls to make a fucking mistake and apologise.
Have you read the letter? Let's read the letter. The last few days have shown us yet again the depth of feeling our supporters around the world have for this great club and the game we love. We needed no reminding of this, but the response from supporters in recent days has given us time for further reflection and deep thought. It was never our intention to cause such distress. However, with the invitation to join the Super League came, while knowing there were no guarantees, we did not want to be left behind to ensure Arsenal. We protected Arsenal and its future. As a result of listening to you and the wider football community over recent days, we are withdrawing from the proposed Super League. We made a mistake and we apologise for it. We know it will take time to restore your faith in what we are trying to achieve here at Arsenal, but let us be clear that the decision to be part of the Super League was driven by our desire to protect Arsenal, the club you love, and to support the game you love through greater solidarity and financial stability. Stability is essential for the game to prosper, and we will continue to strive to bring the security the game needs to move forward. The system needs to be fixed. We must work together to find solutions which protect the future of the game and harness the extraordinary power football has to get us on the edge of our seats. Finally, we know this has been hugely unsettling and at the end of what has been an incredibly difficult year for us all. Our aim is to make the right decision for this great football club, to protect it for the future and to take us forward. We didn't make the right decision here, which we fully accept. We have heard you, the Arsenal board. Right, can we just say, like, they've fucked up and they've made a fucking terrible decision. That is how you do an apology. And whether they're empty words or not is a conversation for tomorrow. Right. That is a conversation for tomorrow. I've just read the Arsenal statement. Let me read you one more time Liverpool's statement. Liverpool Football Club can confirm our involvement in proposed plans to form a European Super League has been discontinued. In recent days, the club has received representations from various key stakeholders, both internally and externally, and we would like to thank them for their valuable contributions. Literally, that's it.
Absolutely pathetic, and it tells me more about it confirms more about that shower of shite than I needed to know.
What is the language of this,
mate? It's just ridiculous. But to be honest with you, look, I don't believe that Arsenal thing. I know you say conversation for tomorrow, but somebody with a fucking heart has written that. Somebody who believes in the values that the fans have has written that. Whether they were the board or not, I can tell that heart and passion went into that. I fucking think the 16-year-old intern's done fucking Liverpool's,
a consideration for what the fans needed to hear. And maybe that's the case. And maybe they just know, maybe the FSG are past the point of no return on this. Maybe they realise that 3 strikes and they're out. Maybe they realise they've made these mistakes and any apology will fall on deaf ears, so why waste the energy? But fuck me, you know, they've released that statement at the same time as Arsenal. And unless the simple fact of the matter is and the talk is this, that Liverpool have led this conversation. Liverpool have been one of the leading clubs.
They can't be sincere and say that, can they?
Because I've been saying this all along, and the reasons why some of these clubs are in, and I hoped that the reason Liverpool were in it is for exactly what Arsenal have just said there. And I'd have understood that, because that statement, and why I give a limited applause to that, is because that's the reasoning. They've just explained the reason for why they're in that conversation, and I understand that. And we've been saying this for the last 2 days. If they come out and said, look, this is proposed, because the proposal was we're replacing the Champions League with this. You're either with us or you're without us. And if that goes ahead, you're left with a devalued Premier League, and you're left with fighting against 5 other football clubs who've all of a sudden got £350 million a year more than you have.
You're on horseback and they're in tanks.
You're never winning your domestic league ever again if you're not on that train and everyone else is, and that gets ratified. So I understand that. The fact that Liverpool have not come out and made any mention of that whatsoever tells you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know about the absolute disgusting actions of Liverpool's ownership. And the fact is, there might be more to come tomorrow, but fuck me, if Arsenal can get that out, there's nothing to say that Liverpool couldn't have got something out in that time. That is pathetic. And the thing is, Chris, there's no sorry.
No.
There's no apology.
They're not sorry.
Listen to the language.
Not sorry, Paul.
Listen to the language. Let's get it back up on the screen again, please, Ben. We can confirm our involvement in a proposed plan to form a Super League has been discontinued. Like, that human beings don't talk like that. In recent days, we've received representations from various key stakeholders. So, like, who are a stakeholder in Liverpool? So that might be other people who are involved in the ownership process of Liverpool potentially. So maybe shareholders, investors,
employees.
shareholders, sponsors, employees potentially, both internally and externally. Yeah. And we would like to thank them for their valuable contributions. That's not saying you agree with anything that's been said. Thanks for that, Ben. That's like saying loads of people have told. Basically, we've been told by loads of people we shouldn't be doing this.
This is what that's saying, right? Is basically there's no European Super League anymore, so we can't do it. That's what that is. Show them Manchester United, because it's just as fucking bad as ours, Paul. I've just sent you the link to that one.
Yeah.
And here's the ringleaders, by the way. You can tell that. And you can tell Arsenal maybe wins, because Manchester United is just as bad as ours. In fact, I think Manchester United might be better than ours.
Right, let's have another little look. And sadly confirmed cookies on Manchester United.
Took a while, though, Man United.
Manchester United withdraw from the European Super League. Manchester United will not be participating in the European Super League. We have listened carefully to the reaction from our fans, UK government and key stakeholders. We remain committed to working with others across the football community to come up with sustainable solutions to the long-term challenges facing the game. Now, that is better than ours. That's still shite.
Well, there's a future there. Yeah. And I can see that future, because it is about sustainability.
Chris, they've name-checked the fans. Liverpool's statement does not even say, has no mention of fans in that whatsoever. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic and disgusting. But again, that is a robot. If you ask the fucking algorithm to generate you a response, you ask an emotionless computer to generate you a response to the situation, that's what they come up with.
With an emoji on the end.
They can't put an emoji on the end, Chris, because emojis are designed to convey emotion, and there is no emotion
but
behind
they know
that.
They know that. They put the wrong emoji, but they put a fucking emoji there.
It's the equivalent of not having a kiss on the end of a text from a girl.
Oh, you don't do that.
Which means that you're out of favour.
You do not do that.
Told me that many years ago.
You do not do that. Yeah. Don't do that if you want to stay married.
Fabrizio Romano has been tweeting, Chelsea are working on the official statement too, as they were playing against Brighton in the last few hours, but Chelsea will be out of the Super League, as the other English clubs too, no doubt. Exactly. Chelsea have just played a game of football. Fair enough. Yeah. Might take them a while to get some key, to get these things. It shouldn't.
No, it
by
shouldn't.
The way,
the fucking directors.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like Mason Mount's drafting it up.
They could have done Liverpool's at fucking half time. To be fair, couldn't they? And had it passed it around the old boardroom for approval. There was 47 fucking words in Liverpool's statement, by the way.
Yeah.
47 fucking words.
Right. Christ.
Just call me Chris.
Yeah. Chris will do. Yeah, right. We had some. I'm going to get through everyone's super chats because you guys deserve to have your voices heard. Liverpool won't listen to you, but we will. Chris Barker says,
I may fall asleep listening to
try our best. Ryan Elvins. I've been a Liverpool fan for 30 years from Australia. We got our club back. You'll never walk alone. Well, we've taken a step. Our club hasn't been killed. That's what today's fight was about. Juama Jalal, watch this team at 4 a.m. because I thought Balotelli was going to take us to the promised land. I bought him because of the culture of the club. Dead on, guys. Chris Barker, my grandfather moved to Canada from Liverpool in the 80s. He raised his grandchildren to all love Liverpool. He's done the cop for 20 years. He'd be tossing in his grave after all the news this week. Joseph O'Brien, you'll never walk alone. Scott Hawkes back again. Thank you, Scott. I'm still saving up to come for Anfield next season.
You're a terrible saver, you lad.
Scott,
you are terrible at saving money, Scott. I can tell you this for a fact, my friend.
I know I'm not a day tripper. I don't care what anyone says. Looking forward to my pilgrimage to my spiritual home.
I'm looking forward to have a pint with you too, mate. I'm looking forward to having a pint with you, Scott, when you come over.
Justin Arber, as an American supporter from Boston, I love this club and its history and tradition. I hope everyone realises, even as a Yank, we don't want FSG either. Whole thing makes me sick. History and tradition over greed. FSG out. Jamie Loudon back again. Jamie Loudon. Love this club. Hashtag FSG out. We're in danger of getting up to date with all these, but not yet. Ayush Rai,
There's loads more coming.
Chris and Paul, as an Indian fan who studied in England, I used to struggle to find supporters who were as passionate as me about Liverpool for the same reasons you listed down. Yeah, Sarah D, thank you so much for the super chat. David Levicek, so you can see how much FSG tried to push it and how much the players actually oppose it, as they are the first to publicly speak out. Proud of them and Jürgen, and also of you guys. Thanks to all of you for the work you do. Thank you so much, David. Gavin Brown, this is for football, lads. Keep up the brilliant work. Much love from Ireland. Jesper Hansen says 51%.
51%,
absolutely.
Mate.
You and Evan's statement is absolutely pathetic. Sounds to me like FSG still think they're right. Perez quotes a mental, still saying things are fine. FSG, we'll see if we can find them actually. FSG out, you'll never walk alone. Thelston Mitchell, our apology didn't sound sincere as the other rival club statements. FSG is sobbing. This ESL did not come to fruition. Yeah, Trig Josh, what's worse when you forget what you're talking Facebook and your mate and put a kiss at the end of a message out of habit, texting your girlfriend? Yeah, I know. But no,
I've done that to Paul. Did you get Sheldon and Connor Duggins there?
Yeah, Sheldon, ESL in the mud finally, but this is only the start of things to come. FSG out, Connor Duggan. FSG tried to make money. They've invested a lot of money in our club. I'll be reluctant to say FSG out. We might eat those words. Look around.
It's a dangerous time for us as Liverpool fans now, isn't it? Because it is sometimes better the devil you know. But I tell you what, it's not in this case. Better the devil you know. I'll take me chances, and that's why it's not 51%. It's 50 plus 1 share. Yeah. It's 50 plus 1, but I get the meaning of it. Yeah. That's why it's important. I think that now's the time, and people are talking about it now. Dan Carden, there, MP, talking about fan ownership. The government can talk about it because we can't have football owners from all around the world ruining something that's so deeply ingrained into all of us in this country, from kids on fields, in parks, in their back garden, to fucking grown men sitting here talking about football for 10 hours a day. I mean, it's so deeply ingrained in our consciousness.
We cannot kill the dream that was Steven Gerrard.
Yes.
A local boy, Liverpool fan who gets to grow up, captain his club to European glory. The dream of Trent Alexander-Arnold, gets to lift the Premier League for Liverpool, gets to lift the European Cup. Yeah. Knocky Knock says, this calls for a celebratory biscuit. Chocky hobnob it is. My word it is. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. COVID. Doug Meister. Oh, so we've got more actually, sorry. Odin O'Brien, thanks boys for everything you've done since the start and over the past couple of days. You never walk alone. FSG out. Torgmeister. Will there be a Redmen TV legacy support tier in the future?
Oh, mate.
Your legacy
Love
fans.
that.
The legacy fans. This is to the legacy fans. This is to all of you. This is to everyone who supports the Liverpool Football Club. This is to everyone who supports a pyramid of football that supports merit and sporting integrity. This is for everyone who loves football. This is everyone who loves Liverpool. Everyone loves, just kicking a ball around. The purity of our sport. This is not for you, FSG, quite clearly. I don't know. I've got no idea. I looked to the comment because we kind of didn't quite do a great deal on that, but it was a good point there from Connor Duggan. And that's what makes this so hard. But it's tough to come out and make really hard-line statements on stuff, because if we end up in a situation where FSG can't, dig in and won't leave Liverpool, we're back into a protracted battle. Their owners, there's a lot of moving parts to get an FSG out of Liverpool Football Club, and we need to find a way to still support our players and our team in that period.
Who've stood up and supported us today, by the way, each and every one of them.
Yeah, I don't know how, and I don't know what that looks like. And right now, tonight, I'll say this again, tonight is not for that. But rest assured, we will be having these conversations. We will be asking these questions. I'm hoping, we've got it in the calendar for tomorrow. I don't know whether it will go ahead if he's busy or not, but I'm speaking to Henry Winter. Tomorrow is in the calendar. I'm going to get his insight on all of this stuff. And we're going to try and speak to as many people associated with us to get more and find out what goes on. And we'll be engaging with anyone who wants to engage with us to try and find out where we go from here. But right now, as it stands, Liverpool are out of the Super League. The Super League is dead. But what does that mean for Liverpool? I don't know. It's bittersweet because we don't know what tomorrow brings. At least we now know that in the short term, we can get back to thinking about the football. We can get back to watching the football. Football will have at least a little bit of meaning.
This Chelsea result's big for us.
Big game, big result. We've got a big game against Newcastle at the weekend. Football fans just want to be able to support their football clubs. This last 48 hours has been an absolute living nightmare. For all of us, we shouldn't be having these conversations. We shouldn't have had to go through all this. It's pathetic, genuinely pathetic from the owners. Cowardice and avarice. You can be greedy, but don't be cowardly. At least fucking front it up. At least own it. And Liverpool, the shameful way in which they've conducted themselves, their inability to get in front of it and explain themselves, and then the cowardly way in which they've even come out and tried to back down in the most pathetic, inhuman way. I don't know what happens next for Liverpool, but it's FSG. JB Carragher has said it, and we can only really echo that. I don't see how FSG can carry on.
They can't. Listen, it's really important. Ross has just sent you a WhatsApp. If you can go to it. It's from Mundo Deportivo. So you're going to buy a little bit of time while you translate this.
Where has he put that? Is that in the main group? The Dave OC Cop
yeah,
one?
Dave OC Cop one. So it take a little bit of time for you to translate it. I know you haven't done Spanish in quite a few years, but if you could translate this, it would be absolutely fantastic. I would suggest going down under the advert for Digital Fair if that's what yours is for.
Hang on a second, let me just translate it.
And it's probably the third paragraph, something like that.
Okay.
Because it mentions something interesting.
So it said Mundo Deportivo. Don't put this up just yet, Ben. But I'll get to a place just to make sure we've not got any mad sponsors on the screen. But the line is: UEFA has offered money to English teams for their withdrawal. This offer has not reached the rest of the Spanish teams, which continue with the Superliga. And this is poorly translated. Total commotion in the Super League, to which the Premier League clubs have dealt a critical, not fatal blow. Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City and United have decided to leave the idea of the Super League that they're all formed with Madrid, Barca, Atletico, Juventus, Inter and Milan. All the pressure these clubs have received from England, in which they have faced rivals, organisations and even their own footballers and coaches, seems to have been enough. But it's not the only motive. Mundo Deportivo has learned that UEFA has played a fundamental role in that decision, not because of the threats, but because he has offered a significant sum of money to the Big Six for leaving the Super League, which seriously threatened its way of life. This offer, however, has not reached Spanish clubs, which from the highest European body are seen as the main enemy, led by the ideologue Florentino Perez. Even so, from the Spanish teams, they see this departure of the Premier League teams as a step backwards that is not definitive, and they are convinced that the magnitude of the project will make them come back. There is tranquility in the surroundings of Barca and Real Madrid, aware that for the survival of all, it is better to continue with the Super League. Wow.
It's going to be called El Clasico, isn't it?
El Liga Clasico. Yeah. But no, but this is my point I made earlier, wasn't it? If the clubs are pulling out, they're not just gone all in on this and made these big statements and put an official club statements out to then go, no, Sam will give up. The reason why, and I said this, the reason they've not spoken, they'll have had to have been offered something in return, yep. And they've looked at it, and again, and
probably with the fucking lawyers.
Well, look, because Barcelona and Real Madrid is right, are the biggest leaders, and they'll have, and there's no way they haven't appealed to Manchester United and Liverpool, because let's be honest, there's the historic, the old money of football is what they've appealed to there, and they've tried to get Liverpool, and Liverpool have bought into this, by the way. FSG have bought into this. I need to reiterate, hook, line and sinker, Man United are bang up for it as well, because they're scared of new money coming and ruin their status quo. Liverpool have just faced 30 years in the doldrums of not being competitive enough to win their league. They've won the Champions League twice in that time, but they've struggled in that regard. Manchester United have come out the fair gear, and they're looking down the barrel of doing exactly what Liverpool have just managed to come out of, and they want a safeguard against Leicester and Everton. West Ham, and continued threat from Chelsea and Man City, etc. But also the Premier League clubs have. It's a good out. I don't know what it means, and I don't know where we stand. And when we get more on this, we'll talk to you about it.
We'll be back in about fucking 10 hours, I reckon.
Yeah, I know. We'll be back. We're going to be back in the morning. We're going to do the Reds News Roundup. Pardon me, show on this tomorrow. We'll have a few more bits and pieces here from people before we wrap up. Kai Ikehara saying, love you guys. I want an apology from FSG, not the club. I'm American, love LFC, hate the NFL and NBA. We can't ever let football change. That's the point, isn't it? Again, it's at least Arsenal saying the board. Liverpool aren't even attributing that. There's no one attributing. Not even the guy who's published it. At least on our website, when you post on our website, it tells you the account. Yeah, Tom O'Ross, who's done it. You're right.
They don't give a shit about us, Paul. They haven't give a shit about us, and they don't deserve our support and our money and our love for this football club. They are the custodians now, but they won't be for fucking long, I'll tell you that.
Jake Fairn asked the question, lads, would you keep FSG if they stay 50+1? And and this is why I want to be careful about how I phrase all this moving forward, because I'm a Liverpool fan. I am, and I don't know. I've got no idea what comes next. I'm literally this is a wound that's still very fresh. Literally Liverpool's. It's not an apology. Liverpool's withdrawal has only come in the last few minutes. Rest assured, we'll be talking this out from every possible angle moving forward. But I think Chris has made his position pretty clear, and I think I've made myself. But I don't see how it's possible for anything FSG can. I don't think FSG can ever be trusted again. I can't see right here, sat here in this room right now, on the back of the last 48 hours, and even with all the credit they built up over the 5 years that preceded it, and for me, they've washed that away in 48 hours of absolutely shocking behaviour.
It's not 48 hours. It's however many months of scheming.
But from our perspective, on Saturday night I wasn't aware of any of this, and I was quite happy with the running of Liverpool Football Club, and there was loads of evidence to suggest that it was being run very well as a football club. And actually, again, I keep talking about it, sustainability, that method of running Liverpool, that's all we want. We just want a football club that's sustainably run, and it has been, and I won't forget that. But I also can't forget now that this is another major decision they've got wrong, and the fact that they've not even had the bollocks to front it up is like. And again, look, I mean, maybe it's a Liverpoolian thing as well, but like, if you're gonna be a dick, if you're gonna call someone a dickhead, call them a dickhead to the face. Don't be sly about it. And like, it's just shithouse behaviour.
Yeah, well, there's a great line. Have you seen Ozark? In the first episode of Ozark, and it's telling a story. He's just caught a drug money launderer skimming money for himself off the top, and he turns around to them all and says, my father had a cleaner for 15 years, and she's a great cleaner. She was fantastic, did everything for the family and all that type of stuff, absolutely superb. And he caught her one day taking 5 cents or 5 pesos or whatever it was. Yeah. He said, what do you do with her? And the right answer is, you fucking sack her. It's the first time you've caught her. Yeah. And she's been doing it for fucking 15 years. She's been fucking robbing you. You've been caught, FSG. We know what type of fucking people you are and what type of owners you are. Get out of our football club. I don't want you here. I know thousands of Liverpool fans feel exactly the same. You have been scheming behind the scenes for I don't know how long, but I know that if it took you fucking about 48 hours to draft 47 words, I can't imagine how long you've been scheming this fucking Super League up for. Yeah. I'll tell you that for free. It's going to have been fucking a year or 6 months or whatever it is. So you've been scheming behind our backs. You're done for. You're done for. We don't want you in our city. We don't want you in our football club. We don't want you in our football.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, couldn't put it any better than myself, to be perfectly honest. Listen, guys, what a mad, horrible couple of days it's been. We said this battle's been won, and it was a massive battle. It was a massive battle that had to be won, 100%. We had no choice but to do this, to do everything in our power to do this. But it doesn't stop now. The battle hasn't ended. Football doesn't go back to normal now. We have to fight for more, and some people might not have the stomach for that, but it's the reality of it is what it is. It's a horrendous way, and I mean that football in general and at Liverpool Football Club. You know, we've had some great times. Those great times might be a little bit of time before we get them back again, but that's what we've got to know now what we're fighting for. Everyone needs to sleep on this, gather themselves, and we need to work out what we want football to look like, what we want our club to look like, and then we need to go together. We need to move together on this, and that's the only way that we're going to make sure that we protect ourselves against any of this shit ever happening again. But listen, Christ. Right, thank you to everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us on these shows. It's been mad. I can't believe we've even had to go for any of this. What was it for? What was the fucking point? What was it, for a few for a bit of
I'd
dough
rather,
in an
I'd
arse
rather
pocket?
find out I'm being cheated on than not find out, Paul. So
Yeah,
at least
maybe
it
you're
was
right.
for something.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we've just to see the true face of the owners and the owners of all these football clubs. Finally, maybe that's what we've done this for. Maybe that was a price worth paying. We'll know in the future. Listen to everyone who's joined us. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your support during this as well. You guys, again, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. That's the God's honest truth. We'd just be two fellas sat in a room chatting about footy. We were that before YouTube. We'll be that after it. But yeah, while we're here, we'll do everything in our power to keep this conversation going and make sure that Liverpool ends up in the way that we want Liverpool Football Club to be. Look, thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone. To the best of your ability. Sleep well. Sleep happy for now, and enjoy this victory because that's what it is. That's what it is. This is a victory for football tonight, but the war goes on, and we'll pick up on that. When we've all had a little bit of a kip and probably a bevy. Thanks so much. Thank you so much to you guys. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to Ben, who's been doing all of the hard work tonight.
He may have fallen asleep. He's got a habit of doing that.
Send Ben some love in the comments, please. That would be absolutely lovely of you guys. And yeah, have a great night. Thank you so much. Ta-ra. Does Ben know how to turn it off?